Can it be your faith? Can it be your faith in? Can it be your faith in? Can it be your faith in Can it be your faith? Can it be your faith in Can it be your faith in? Can it be your faith in? Can it be your faith? Can it be your faith in? Can it be your fate? Can it be your faith in? Can it be your faith? Can it be your faith in? Can it be your faith in?
God, wait, they can't see me. Everything's wrong. What's happening? What's happening? How do we get here? Oh, I know why. What is happening?
Oh shit.
Hey, yo. Can they hear me? Y'all can hear me. Hold on. We get some technical difficulties right now. What is happening here? Oh, I'm tripping.
They can see you now. That
There
shit
you
kind of
go.
low.
All right. I'm good now. All right. So, in typical JD fashion, we start off with some bodega. But what's up, everybody? How you doing? It's the Don Godfather Future Hall of Famer here with my brother Brago, brother BDL Law, Don Brago. You know, he has many names. Brizzy, you know,
Poppy.
Underworld Poppy. How you doing today, brother?
I'm doing good, bro. How you feeling?
I'm living the dream. I'm living the dream. It's muted. What's muted? Y'all can definitely hear me. Stop BSing. Like, I swear the chat's always late behind. But yeah, hi chat. How you guys doing, Brago? I'm sure you've seen you saw this stream with O'Hara, so you know how the format is. We kind of greet the chat. You know, we talk shit for a little bit and then we get into the topics.
Okay, bet.
Yeah. So one, Jesus Christ. Billy Madison with the 10 gifted subs. He feeling real aggressive. Carter with the 5 gifted subs. Y'all came to show love today.
They want you to twerk, son.
I'm not gonna twerk. It's not gonna happen. I don't know what you
We
did
already
to these niggas, and
do what you gotta do,
this
man.
Ritz Carlton agenda that you spread is actually been a
Come on,
cancer. It's been a
bro.
poison.
Hey, I didn't spread it. You would spread the cheeks,
No,
bro. I know
nigga,
what to tell you.
no. It was a poison.
I wanted to tell you, plebei.
Everybody's saying once you get 100K, you got to do the Ritz Carlton. I'm like, I'm not doing.
Nah, that's
me.
crazy.
Nah,
Nigga, if you
bro.
do that, that's it for you.
He said that's it.
Come back, nigga.
I'm gonna lose all them subs. I go from
hell
100K
yeah.
back to 50.
Right back to 50, nigga.
In a heartbeat. Nah, but so one, how you doing, man? First of all, before we start off, we have to do this. I don't mean to embarrass you, but it was my man's birthday yesterday. I want everybody in the chat to say happy birthday to brother Brago. God bless. We appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? We got to celebrate the king.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. You know, it's crazy because like I didn't know like niggas knew when I started streaming.
Yep.
Because OG put it on in the Discord and the announcement shit. So I was like, yo, how the fuck these niggas know? Because I normally don't say shit about my
No, you don't. You Andrits. I hate both of y'all for that shit too.
Yeah, I normally don't say shit about my birthday.
Andrits out here like it was my birthday 3 weeks ago. I'm like, what?
It was? I didn't even know.
It was a minute ago. I was so angry at him, bro. You had no idea, man.
Yeah, I didn't even know about any of that, bro. But yeah, I appreciate y'all, man. Appreciate y'all.
Yeah, the chat spamming the happy birthday. They definitely showing
love.
love.
Yeah.
We got another 5, and another 10 from El Baffy. Y'all throwing bread. Brago, you got to twerk. It seems like Brago got to twerk.
I'm sorry, I don't know how to.
Oh, so now he doesn't know how to, but he know the Ritz Carlton, but he don't know how to. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know how to, Jay. I leave those to you, dog.
That's cap.
Seem like you're a bit more bottom heavy than I am.
Bottom heavy. That's gay. I want everyone to know that what he just said there. That's gay. All right. It's not me. Pride Month is over, nigga.
I'm just saying, dog.
I'm just saying,
dog. If the chat had to vote, right? If it was a prediction chat, they would say who's probably more bottom heavy. I think they would say you are, bro. I'm just saying.
This is not. Well, luckily, this is not going on YouTube. That's crazy.
I'm just saying,
and that's
dog.
cap. Yeah, they say you sus. Hell is sus. That's not me, bro.
Man, I'm comfortable in my sexuality. I can say Jay is bottom heavy, and I think everyone would agree with me.
That's cap. But all right, we're gonna let you rock. But one, so I guess we'll just start with some light talk. So one, initial thoughts on the chapter, rating. How did you feel about the chapter? What stuck out to you the most?
I mean, the sun god shit, right?
Right.
That was heavy. That was big. What else with I guess Who's Who versus Jinbei, like an entire chapter dedicated to that. That was kind of surprising. Like most of the chapter was Who's Who and Jinbei. I think Jinbei, we gotta really put some respect on his name. As much shit as Who's Who was throwing at him, Jinbei had every single tech ready. Like Who's Who could do nothing with Jinbei at that point. And I think if he is done, I don't think he's done for real. But if he is done, I do think that Jinbei, I mean, that was mid-diff.
Just about. I mean, he took some damage, so.
But remember, Jinbei was fighting the grunts as well.
Yeah.
He was fighting all them niggas. And then he does this to Who's Who. Like, we really got to put some respect on Jinbei's name. I guess the beginning of the chapter, the Thomas stuff, that's whatever. I thought it was a pretty good chapter. It's going to lead to some more discussion and exactly with the sun god, what that means, what that represents, the Dawn, Luffy, and of course the topics and discussion about his him being a chosen one and destiny and fate. That's going to continue. We're on break this week, or next week. So it's going to be more shit and more things people are going to talk about in regards to that. But I think overall it was good. It was good. I enjoyed it.
You know, it's interesting you say that because I was thinking about that myself when it first happened. I'm thinking, okay, Jinbei kind of packed this dude up. If we're really thinking about it, like it was pretty. Like I think what really stood out is this the first time we've ever seen somebody punch full body armament and actually break a bone? He actually broke his fingers, and they were hockeyed up. So I'm like, that is a wild armament hockey feat, right? This is a
That's
guy's
yeah. I don't think we've ever seen that. I mean, we've seen somebody.
Sanji. I know. The fact that you laughed, you knew what you.
I want to
do.
go there, my nigga. I didn't want to go there. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, listen.
You know, but hockey wasn't being used with that. But I think this is the best display of full body that we've seen so far.
Yes.
Right. And I think for Who's Who, I think Who's Who didn't have any chance after he called Jinbei a nigga, right? Like after that point, like the nigga, he even said, nigga, why are you so mad?
Yeah.
And all I could think of is the fucking Boondocks.
What did he do to make that nigga that bad?
The nigga was mad. Right. So at that point, it comes down to resolve, right?
Yeah.
Could Who's resolve? Could his resolve match Jinbei's? No chance. No chance. At that point, it was over. It was over. I mean, Who's Who? He just fucking bro. He's on Kaido's crew. He's hiding out. That's what he's doing for the most part. He's hiding out from the world government. So, get this nigga out of here, man. Shout out to Jinbei, man. A real nigga.
Nah, for real. I even said it when he hit him. When he was like summoning all that energy for that gargoyle fist, I'm like, bro, he just went ancestor mode, bro. The aura of his ancestors just took over, bro.
Man.
I started seeing black leaders and everything started like silhouettes coming up out of nowhere. I said, man,
Martin Luther Jinbei, bro, that nigga, he turned into Malcolm X for a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, he smacked he smacked the racist out that nigga.
Oh my goodness! And I said this, I'm like, I feel like Oda wrote this chapter for black people. I'm just not gonna lie.
Conceptually, you can say he's trying to touch on some of these topics, a light touch, like, Fishman. We've always said that Fishman kind of, it's kind of applied to black people type shit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, when I put myself in Jinbei's shoes, if a nigga that was basically worked for the slave owners,
yes,
came to me and was like, yo, your history is just about slavery, right? I'm like, nigga, you think that's all my history is about?
Yeah.
Is slavery? That's it? That's how you look? Nah, if you like Jinbei said, if you're gonna talk about somebody's history, don't be half-assed about it and be so mad casual about it. This shit runs deep, especially for Jinbei and what he went through with the Sun Pirates, with Otohime, Fisher Tiger, what he had to deal with Arlong, and how the repercussions of that on the Straw Hats and Nami. This shit runs deep.
Yeah.
And for you to just say some shit like that, nigga, I should smack the shit out you. And that's what Jinbei did.
Him, bro. And I was like, man, listen, it was. I'll say this, just from a fighting perspective. It's one of the most entertaining fights we've seen post time skip. If you think about it,
I think, a very technical fight, very technical. I think Jinbei had a lot of counters to everything Who's Who threw at him. I think Who's Who and his fighting style being more quick, shifty maneuvers, and Jinbei being more slow and steady, kind of reacting to what you do. It's almost like the perfect fight. And I think in the anime, this may be just one of those fights that you don't want to miss, because they're gonna go crazy with the movement, and Jinbei displaying every facet of hockey. And I can't wait to see the 6 powers in the anime style, especially the updated anime style.
The Fang projectile stuff. I'm like,
that's gonna be fire. That's gonna be absolutely fire, and I really can't wait for that, bro.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie.
And I think normally from like say a protagonist antagonist perspective, normally you have one protagonist that's a good fighter. So you get like Sanji and Zoro. You see like Sanji versus Virgo, for example, that was kind of cool. You have Virgo versus Smoker, that was kind of cool. Then you have Pika versus Zoro. Nobody really likes Pika, so Pika's kind of lame. And then you have Killer versus Zoro, and Killer's kind of nerfed. So it's like, all right, we're seeing these cool flashes. And then we get Jinbei and Who's Who, and we're seeing like full techniques, fighting styles, comparisons. And even like the way Jinbei was moving with Who's Who. It was in, I don't know if you watch a lot of martial arts movies. I think it's Tai Chi, correct me if I'm wrong. But it's like you're kind of like, you're just going with the flow.
Right.
Jimmy's like reading the flow of everything Who's doing and redirecting it. The jujitsu flip and everything like that, absorbing punches and then returning. I'm like, this is,
it's masterclass, right?
Yeah.
It's I think a lot of times, and I've fallen victim to this, where we look at stats, right? We look at different categories and we look at characters and say, okay, well, this character, he's fast. His acceleration is here. He has speed, defense, attack power, all these different things. And for Jinbei, he's not fast, right? He
Nope.
doesn't move that quick. I mean, of course, they said he moves quickly for his size, right? But I think this shows the experience that Jinbei has. This shows
Yes.
that Jinbei, you know, for most people, they're going to struggle with Jinbei,
Yes.
right? A lot of people that we deem strong would have a very tough time with Jinbei. I
Yeah.
know. I think consensus. Well, for the most part, people put Crocodile over Jinbei.
Not anymore,
Um,
probably. Yeah.
I wonder how people feel now,
Yeah.
right? I wonder how people feel like Crocodile would do against Jinbei because, hey man, that moisture in the air, like versus Crocodile, where are we going with that? How do you see that going?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because the water bullets. Water bullets already. You know, crocodile water. I'm just saying.
hey man, I'm
That's
saying Jinbei at this point, I think we got to start putting some more respect on him. Like he
100%.
deserves that. He's I think he's I mean, I think what's a down moment for Jinbei? Like I'm trying to think of a moment where I'm like, bro, Jim, I'm so disappointed. I can't think of
There
it.
isn't.
Every single situation he's been in, he's been like that shining light,
Yeah.
right? For in Impel Down with Luffy talking sense into him, shit, Fishman Island,
Fishman Island. Yeah.
and Amazon Lily, like he's always been that guy, bro. Shout out to that nigga Jinbei, bro.
Bro, Akainu and Marineford.
Do
When
you
we say
think that was?
he tanked
But
that.
that's Akainu.
I'm saying, but that's not bad. That's what I'm saying. That's not bad. He's still moving after that. I don't think y'all understand. He moved and still got.
That's what I'm saying, bro. He had a hole punch through. He survived, right?
We got to start talking about Jinbei's durability. Like he took
Come on,
a Big Mom cognac and he blocked it.
dog.
Nerf or not?
He stayed back to let the Straw Hats get away, and then he got away. Nigga, that's a W. He came back like, yo, my bad, I was late, bro.
He said, my bad, OG.
My bad, I was late, dog. Come on, dog. Like Jinbei needs some more respect. He might be in my top 30. I'm not gonna lie to you. But however, nah. Because I think my 30 was like Law. Yes. I don't think
Jinbei Law,
think
that's
I don't know. I don't think he can take Law, but you know what I'm saying.
You never know. I think you got to factor in his experience and
a lot
his
of experience.
Durability. That's definitely something because in One Piece, I think experienced fighters, right? You think of Dofi's experienced.
Yeah.
Whitebeard very experienced.
Yeah,
the Admiral's obviously very, very experienced as well. So you've seen experienced fighters, but seeing someone outside of that top tier class, see someone like Jinbei, for example, Katakuri was very experienced as well.
Yes,
right. So I'm just like. With Jinbei, it's different because Fishman Karate, I think people sleep on it as well. For Devil Fruit users, Fishman Karate is very strong.
For a while, in regards to Luffy competing with Blackbeard, I never made a video about it, but I was always like, is Luffy going to learn every single fighting style out there, right? Like, could Luffy learn Fishman Karate? Like, because, Koala
could use it.
Could he learn that? Because at this point, to kind of compete with Blackbeard, who has two of the strongest Devil Fruits, how could he stand a chance? But now, it's like Rio and Advanced Conquerors, it's like he don't need that shit. But like, you know what I'm saying? I thought that would have been like a great thing for Luffy to learn to have in his bag.
Wow.
Fishman Karate.
That would be very interesting. Gear 4th mixed in with some Fishman Karate?
I mean, he kind of already has the form down, you know what I'm saying, with Gear 4th, but it's at this point, I don't think he needs it. And the Straw Hats, I mean, they don't seem to train with each other and teach things to each other, so it's kind of like, you know what I'm saying, like,
I mean, Zoro learned Flame Rend. Do you think Kinemon
from Kinemon
screen,
yeah, I mean, but that goes back to somebody that's not within the crew, maybe because that's what Zoro is teaching Momonosuke, right?
True.
He's teaching Momonosuke, but it seems like within the crew, I mean, if that's the case, then all of them should have haki, right?
Yeah.
All of them should at least know armament. But I don't know. It's hard to bank on that.
It's interesting, And then outside of the Jinbei stuff, the Sun God stuff as well. It's not really part of the topic, and I don't know what I want to use it for in a video. It's still kind of up in the air, but there's a lot because obviously you got the Skypiea ties. Like shout out to Gio, we leave him alone, but
Gio got to stop doing that to himself.
He's setting
He
himself.
got to stop, man. Gio,
I think he's doing it
I,
on purpose now. I'm not gonna lie. It seems a little
he might be.
intentional.
He might be because when I saw the Calgara and Norland parallel to Kid and Luffy, I was like, wait, is this dead ass? I was like,
Like, you can't be serious. You can't be.
I was like, you're not serious, right? Is that the parallel?
Mhm.
Calgary and Norland? But I don't know. I think Gio gotta go live and read the entirety of Skypiea
Yeah,
for us to know that he actually read it.
yeah,
Because I don't think he's ever gonna live it down. It's gonna be attached to his name, no matter how many different accounts he goes on.
yeah.
It's gonna be always Gio has never read Skypiea
And it's
and he doesn't
notorious.
understand anything with
Yeah.
context of Skypiea. And it's funny because I think he tweeted, "Oh, this chapter has nothing to do with Skypiea," and then
And they
people are
pack.
posting
Oh my
panels, they're packing
god,
them up.
they packed
I
that
was
nigga
like, "Come on,
up,
Gio."
bro. I said,
I was like,
nah, bro.
you gotta just read it, bro.
You
Just
gotta
let it
read
go.
these. Like,
Read it or let it go.
you were
Don't
wrong,
say
bro.
anything about Skypiea.
Just take
Just let
the
it go.
L, man. Nah, but on some serious stuff, like Morge, I'm sure you saw Morge's tweet, and I think he had a video on it as well about the connections between Skypiea and the Sun God. And something I didn't notice is when Luffy defeated NL and the clouds cleared up, the sun was shining after people were trying to pray to God. And it's kind of like
Oh,
symbolism of Luffy representing the sun god that people were praying for in Skypiea. And obviously, that ties into the chapter
oh,
now,
that's
and
dope.
there's kind of
That's
lore
dope.
behind it. Not to mention, so I don't know if you heard as well the African folktale, right? That's
I saw like some screenshots floating around about that.
yeah. So the premise of it is there is an ancient African, I think, ruler or warrior. His name is Joy Boy, and
Hmm.
he would go around to different areas spreading joy and dance. Like, his dancing was incredible, and everyone would
Hmm.
laugh relentlessly around him, and he'd bring joy and he'd free slaves. He was basically this great liberator, and people were like, they like adored him. And it's the
Hmm.
same way with the sun god. The way the sun god was set up as the sun god Nika, very similar to Joy Boy. Joy Boy, sun god, laughter, laugh tale. Roger laughs about Joy Boy's story. Seems like laughter is centered around Joy Boy. So there's a connection there from mythology. Oda does that. Like, that's
All the
established with
time.
Oda. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about that? Is that something that you would be willing to research into? Because I'm sure people are gonna start making videos on it now. But how much do you buy it?
Um, I think it's okay. So I think there's certain videos, right, that you make that it depends on the route you're going, right? So, um, I never have an issue with making videos informing people that aren't on Twitter or people that don't go around looking for things like that in regards to what people are talking about, right?
Right.
So, obviously, there's a connection, the obvious connection of the name Joy Boy, etc., and what it brings to laughter. So that's the obvious connection to what was said in the recent chapter. So I think just bringing that information to the audience is valuable, right?
Yeah.
I do think it does run deeper when you think of the sun and the light and the dawn and how it matters to the story, but incorporating a cool tidbit like that, it has intrinsic value.
Yeah.
Like for instance, like I saw on Twitter, somebody pointed out that for the cover story, it had all the Zoan devil fruits. Those are the plushies that were around Who's Who, around Alti and page one,
Wow, I didn't see that. Okay.
right? It
Yeah.
had X Drakes, Who's Who, Kaido on page one. It had all of them, but they were plushies on the cover story in
I
the
gotta
cover
see
art
that.
request, right?
Okay.
Whereas like things like that, it brings and adds value to the it brings it to your audience. So like yeah, I mean that's something that I would definitely mention,
Oh wow. Yeah, you're
but
right. I'm looking at it. Holy shit.
right, you see Kaido at the top, you see
So
Queen
Queen,
there.
King,
Yeah,
Jack. Wow. Holy
it's
crap.
all there.
Black
It's all
Maria.
there. It's
Wow.
all there. It's all there. And that's something that like so that's what I'm saying like sometimes it's bringing information to your audience is valuable.
Huh. Okay. Nah. Fair enough. That's
You know what
fair.
I'm saying?
It's tough because when it comes to things like that with Sun God Nika, for example, if I'm gonna make a video on that, that's a pool of research you got to go through. Like, I got to reread Skypiea, look at all the mentions again of the Sun God, and
Hmm.
try and tie everything together. And at that point, you're kind of formulating a giant end of series theory, right? I feel like it's hard to just focus on Sun God Nika without expanding it to a point where you're hitting 20, 30 minutes long worth of a video to try and tie everything together.
See, that's when you focus. I think at this point, to not make it overly long and overly meticulous, then you focus in on a particular topic, right? Where I think for One Piece, and it's shown through just the interest, like the chapters that really pop off are when lore, right, deep lore, and Luffy is heavily involved, right? So I think making a video around Luffy and his connections to the Sun God, I think something like that
Condensed.
is a bit more condensed, right, and easier to make those connections than a video around the Sun God, right, where it's focused on the Sun God. Because for the most part, people are going to care about the Sun God, but people more care about how is the Sun God connected to Luffy,
Yep. I agree
right?
with that. Yeah.
So I'm out. So I would never just make a video on the Sun God. Like people make theories like that and connecting it to real life shit like that. But I would never do that because I don't think people think that's interesting. It's interesting, but what's more interesting is can you make that connection and tell me why Luffy is the Sun God?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
Which I
completely
think,
fair. Yeah.
right, it takes research, but I think like research on the Sun God and connecting it to One Piece, it may it may lose some interest. It's going to be cool for like a certain group, but it may lose some interest. People are like, all right, like Sun God, that's dope, but like Luffy, nigga, you know what I'm saying?
What about
Like,
where's the MC at? That's what I'm here
yeah,
for.
right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's like making a video on like Buddhism or whatever, and it's like, okay, but nigga, how is Buddhism connected to Zoro? Connected for me. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
I think that probably holds more value, what people care about a bit more.
Fair enough. So now that we got this, the chapter portion got a little long, but great discussion, right? So that's what we got from the chapter. Now, what I think is this is something I'm gonna start tying onto with the next topic, right? So I've been doing a series of Shanks videos. A lot of things have come to my mind after realizing that Shanks stole the Gomu Gomu no Mi, and Shanks's behavior in general has been very interesting. I think he's the gatekeeper. I think he knows the true history. I think he hit the fourth road poneglyph. I think he knew what he was doing when he stole the Gomu Gomu no Mi and how it's tied to Joy Boy. Now, for the end of series implications, I also believe that Blackbeard is going to beat Shanks. You know this agenda with me. This is me, right? Now, I think the real question to ask, I know you're shaking your head, but just roll with me here. Because there's a reason why people will be disappointed about this. If Blackbeard beats Shanks and it's off screen, one, I know you'd be mad. But for what it would do for Luffy in regards to his motivations to really, really fight Blackbeard, and we'll probably get the Shanks versus Blackbeard fight in a flashback anyway. Would you be okay with that happening? And how do you think it would benefit Blackbeard's dynamic with Luffy after Shanks' demise?
I think Oda, if he did that, he would rob us of a moment that we've been waiting for from the beginning of the story. Um, Even talking to casual One Piece fans, they're one of the more popular questions after they get caught up, or once they're catching up, is like, has Shanks met Luffy again yet? Has he gotten the hat back yet? Right? And it's like, he's not gonna get the hat back, but you want that moment. You want them to reunite, for Shanks to see Luffy's growth, right? One of the beautiful moments in Marineford is when Shanks picks up the hat and he's like, Luffy, I can't see you yet, right? So it's like Oda knows that's what we want to see. He teased it at Marineford,
Right.
right? He could have just easily had Shanks meet up with Luffy again and just see him in that state, but he's like, I can't see you yet. You can you imagine that? Shanks has not
Seen
seen
Luffy yet.
Luffy
Yep.
ever since then. That is crazy. And then, so like Luffy has been through all these things. Like a perfect time would be, like it wouldn't be fulfilling their promise, but Shanks going to see Luffy on Riskina saying, hey, like you've accomplished a lot. I'm so proud of you. Right. But no, even through that, he's still like, no. If this, and if this goes back to prophecy or destiny, like if you are who I think you are,
Yep.
you will become who I think you will become.
Right.
It's akin to Jing, where he's like, where he's basically like, Gon is not gonna die.
He's not.
He's like, he's not gonna
He's
die.
that's my son. Nah, he's
You
not
know what
gonna
I'm
die.
saying? Like, he's not gonna die.
Oh,
So
you good?
I'm straight. I'm
All
straight.
right.
So he's like, Gon is not gonna die, right? So at that point, it's like, um, Shanks has to 100% meet Luffy again before he dies, and that's if he dies. You know, Christian and them, they do think that Luffy, uh, they do think that Shanks doesn't die. It's a lot of boys. They do think that Shanks doesn't die. So I don't know. I think Oda would have dropped the ball 100% if you have Blackbeard kill Shanks, because this is Shanks. This is the one moment that we're gonna see Shanks in action. That's why I had the whole theory about Shanks possibly having an entire special or movie around it, right? Because if Shanks does die, and this is the final moment where we see Shanks, I think it has to be in a cinematic way, a way that's so amazing that
That's true.
it's almost like, I don't know how many people watched what you call it, Demon Slayer.
Yeah.
Almost like
Goku.
how you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's like after that, people already fans of Shanks, already a fan of Shanks, but after that, it was like, bro, like that's my nigga at that point.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's I think there's no chance that Shanks doesn't meet Luffy again. No chance.
So
Hold
the only
No, go
reason,
ahead.
yeah, go ahead. The only reason I would mention that is because I think if Oda wanted to go outside of the box, because Oda likes to be unpredictable with these things. Everything that we want to happen, Oda likes to kind of just throw a big middle finger at you guys and say, nah, this is not what was supposed to happen. But I feel like there could be
Right.
some poetry to it because it's something we all expect to happen so much that it would be very interesting to see how Oda would appease us if he didn't give us the fated meeting. Because Blackbeard, we know he's on the move. I genuinely believe that it's possible that Wapol may have leaked the conversation that Shanks had with the Gorosei. And in that conversation, he could have warned him about Blackbeard, but he also could have mentioned something about the missing road poneglyph. And if that were the case, that's
You think
why
Wapol did that?
yes, because Wapol said I had something to tell you. And we know Shanks was still at the Reverie at that time. We know Wapol was sneaking around. Someone like Wapol would be nosy enough to try and overhear, like to overhear a situation like that. I mean, look what Caribou did as well. So this is just a theory. It's all a guess, right? But my theory is, this is where it's going with it. Blackbeard and Shanks. If Shanks said Blackbeard is the pirate that you need to be worried about, he goes to intervene with Blackbeard, and this is all off screen. It would make sense for them to interact with each other and Blackbeard to get that clout that he needs from everyone, the respect, because I think Blackbeard's underestimated. If Blackbeard beats Shanks, his place as a threat is now at an all-time high. People have to respect Blackbeard now. They're going to have to say, all right, you have to be top one to beat him. So I feel like Shanks is a worthy sacrifice for the sake of an antagonist like Blackbeard. For him to really hit, him killing a beloved character and stopping Luffy from meeting Shanks would make Blackbeard one of the most hated villains we have ever seen in One Piece. So the build-up for Luffy versus Blackbeard will be at an all-time high. And I think that's the payoff. What's better than seeing Luffy avenge Shanks in the Straw Hat? And then we get the flashback of what Shanks went through with Blackbeard. It was really grimy, and Blackbeard did something real nasty. And you're like, oh, I can't believe Blackbeard did that. Oh. And then Luffy pulls up, and he's like, you took my brother, and then you took Shanks? Come on. You cannot tell me that's not heat. You cannot tell me that's not heat, man.
I think for a story that's not One Piece, it's Heat.
Okay.
Because we've created theories before about how Oda, like a great way for Oda to deviate and do things a bit outside the box, right? But I think One Piece is built on lore, callbacks, moments and characters that we've grown with, characters that we've become fond of, and I think something like that moment where Luffy sees Shanks again, I don't think Oda would ever pass up on that opportunity. Right? Like it'll be amazing if Luffy doesn't get a chance to meet Shanks again. Blackbeard kills Shanks. Now Luffy has to avenge him. But it's such an extreme, and I honestly I think that's almost like Luffy going through this entire journey and doesn't make it to Raftel.
I see what you're saying with that.
Right? Like it's bro, I guarantee, right? Like the chapter, because it's gonna happen where spoilers are gonna come out and everybody's gonna say, bro, stay off Twitter. Stay off Twitter. You don't want to get spoiled.
Stay off Twitter.
Hey, nigga, stay off Facebook. Stay off YouTube,
Stay
nigga.
off the internet. Period.
Because the first thing people are gonna put in their title, they finally meet.
Right.
Nigga. Listen, that's gonna be a day that everybody is gonna be watching. Multiple reactions, right? Multiple, just to see how do people feel about this.
Yeah,
bro. It's something that it's a moment that in the US, everywhere else in Japan, I think it's gonna stop for a little while because we're waiting for this. We're waiting for Shanks to finally acknowledge that Luffy has become a great pirate. Bro, I don't know how I'm gonna react to that because it's gonna be such a like an encompassing moment of just thinking about everything Luffy went through to get there. And this is after beating Kaido and Big Mom, bro. Come on, dog. Like Oda, I don't think that has to happen. Now, if it would be equally as I think devastating if there's a chapter where it's revealed that Blackbeard killed Shanks. Right?
Yes.
But I think it would immediately it'll be followed with backlash. Where people are like, what the fuck were you thinking? How do you not give us that moment again? How could you take that moment from us? I mean, it would be a complete shock. But I think the butterflies genuinely that you would get from Shanks meeting Luffy again.
That's true.
Oh
yeah.
Nah. Lucky Roo, Ben Beckman, all of them just seeing Luffy, Yasop and Usopp.
They all know him. Like I think we forget that the whole crew of Shanks, they all know Luffy when he was
bro.
A kid. Yeah, they all know.
Come on, dog. They haven't seen Luffy since he was a kid.
Yeah.
And then Luffy and Shanks, the first clash is going to be Conqueror's Haki.
They gotta split the sky. They gotta split the sky.
You know what I'm saying? Because I think it's going to be a situation where like Shanks immediately attacks Luffy. Immediately goes at him. Yeah. And Zoro's like, what the fuck? And they go to try to block him, right? Usopp sends a shot. Yasop blocks it.
shoots it like, nope.
You know what I'm saying?
Not here, King. Lucky Usopp Zoro, like, nah, you're not ready yet, nigga.
Come on, bro.
He said you're not ready yet.
Come on, bro. Come on, dog. We need that.
I can see that.
We need that.
I can see that.
We need that. I'm sorry.
So
Oda can't drop the ball on that. So it's too easy.
So maybe it's a case for me, right? I'm a sucker for the shock, right? For me, if he did that, I'm like, this is sick. I'm like, Oda, this is sick. Like, how could you do this? Because I understand the reaction, but I like that. To me, that's outside the box.
Okay, how did you feel about Kite?
Ooh, that hurt my spirit. I was broken. I was devastated, nigga. I watched it again.
Because Hunter, how it felt, I was like, okay, then they're gonna be all right? He gonna, you know what I'm saying? He gonna get away from that, But then you saw the end of the episode.
You saw the head in her arms.
Saw the head in her arms. Like, I guess I am pretty strong, huh?
And the way they did it, they had gone shining at Killua, gone. You are light. Kite's not dead. He's not dead. Kite's dead, nigga. He's gone.
Oh, nah, that nigga is dead. That nigga is dead.
That was so.
And
good.
I was like, damn. And for me, I'm like, okay, once Gon finds out that nigga's dead, it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be bad.
And that so, payoff was.
I mean,
that payoff was worth it. It was worth it.
And that's the thing where like. Would I rather get the reaction from Luffy in that situation, or do I want to see that moment? I think I'd rather see that moment.
Okay. And that's
I
to me
rest my
that's
mind.
fair. That's
Yeah.
fair because when you paint the picture, you feel it. You feel the little
Yeah.
butterflies. You're like, all right,
Come on, man. Come on, man.
Shanks
You know,
realizing
every
like,
time Shanks is on screen, and now Shanks on screen with Luffy, that has not decades. Shanks and Luffy on screen at the same time, my nigga. Come on, bruh. Come on,
I'm
dog.
sure people can tell
And-
now I'm a villain guy. They know this. Yeah, I can tell. I root for villains sometimes. I really do. I'm a villain
Bro,
guy.
I always root for the villain, right? I think because when the villains win, it makes things more interesting. Now the author has to figure out a way to make things work
Yes.
with that L that they took. After Kite took that L, I'm like, damn, who the fuck? How they gonna beat these niggas? Right?
Yeah.
Kite was hyped up. If you read the manga, he was hyped up to be strong as fuck.
Yeah. Little
And
like
so,
I was like, wow.
and after like Pito seemingly easily defeated him, it's like, okay, we going and Killua can't do that shit. What is gonna happen?
Yeah.
So, you know, I need that Shanks and Luffy moment, bro. I
Okay.
need it. I need it. That's something that I need. And I think whatever that moment is, when they meet again, it's gonna be, it's gonna be this side by side when he gave him the hat and when they finally meet again. It's gonna be that. And like shit, I think something like that. I want like a mural. Like I want like a poster of that shit. That shit is like the foundation of One Piece. Something that when I saw for the first time, I'm like, okay, I gotta see where this goes. You know what I'm saying? So we need that, bro.
I'll take your word for it. I'm still, still fingers crossed. I'm just saying if they want to do something
That Blackbeard
spicy,
beats him off screen. I mean, I think
if they show it,
mm,
would you be okay?
if they show Blackbeard killing Shanks
If it's like
before meeting Luffy,
it's like an Ace versus Blackbeard thing.
that wasn't enough for me.
What the
Ace versus Blackbeard, that wasn't nearly as satisfying, right? Like it was like because we saw the fight, went away from it, and we came back, and it was like,
it was over, yeah.
and then we saw the clash with Entei and Blackbeard. It was like, it was like it was cool, but come on, bro. We need for Shanks, we need straight hands for like my nigga 3 chapters because we need to see Shanks fight. We need to see Ben Beckman fight. We need to see Lucky Roof fight.
Yeah, we don't know anything about Shanks'
We don't know
capabilities.
nothing about these dudes. We need 3, 4, 5 chapters of straight hands and information.
Yes.
How he got the scar, the history about him not sleeping, right? When they met again,
Yep.
right? What Shanks has been doing the entire time to kind of stop Blackbeard. We need all that shit. So you cannot off screen that. You cannot just bullshit with that. Oda, this is one time where you cannot save abilities and all that shit.
For the future, yeah. We're in
No,
the end game now. You can't be saving stuff anymore.
come on, bro.
You can't do it
Come on,
anymore.
bro. If we seen a newspaper like after Shanks meets Luffy, we see that Shanks got defeated by Blackbeard, bro. I promise you, I will rage.
Rage.
I will
Most
rage, my
negative
nigga.
BDA video we've
I
ever
will
seen.
rage. And watch the next chapter. We get a flashback.
A flashback and you get everything you wanted to see. Nah,
I get everything.
so
I would be so mad, dog. Get out of here, dog. Nah, we need that. We need that real time.
so the last caveat I want to present is what if Blackbeard defeats Shanks, but Shanks gets away, but he's going to die, and then he runs into Luffy, and then Luffy sees his last dying words. Like he gets to talk to Luffy, he gets a little bit of closure, but Shanks eventually passes.
It would kind of feel a bit cheesy. I'm not gonna lie, because it's like, what are the odds, right? Where Luffy stumbles upon Shanks, he falls into his arms, like the Notebook. I and it's like Luffy seeing Shanks in that state. It's like, can you really evaluate how strong or Luffy becoming a great pirate in a state like that? I would like it to be where they're meeting on equal footing
Yes.
and being acknowledged that way, as opposed to Shanks being somewhat saved by Luffy. And Luffy, I mean, because at that point, then Luffy has to fight Blackbeard, right?
Yeah.
Unless Blackbeard gets away in time, then it'd be just like blue balls.
Yeah.
So I it feels like it makes Shanks into like a damsel in distress. Like, avenge me, Luffy, please. Uh,
You
like,
were the chosen one. I always knew it.
nah, nah. I need Shanks to be good when he meets him, so that we can have that moment, bro. I need that.
Fair enough. So the next topic I have, and this is something I think is very interesting. I made sure we picked this topic for you because I remember your politics in One Piece video. And
Mhm.
I did. I for me, videos like that were on One Piece. Ooh, I'm in there for it. Like always, I'm
Yeah,
always in there for it. And at the end of my stream, after the whole Jinbei stuff and the racism rhetoric, we someone asked a question which I thought was very interesting. Now, just for the sake of the video, this is gonna be about morality in One Piece. Luffy is not a hero. That's the title. And the premise around that is how Oda has set up morality in the pirate world and then morality with the world government and then morality with the Marines. Because a lot of people
right.
have these perceptions. A lot of people get angry. Say the Boa Hancock thing. People hate Boa Hancock. They said don't compare Boa to the Straw Hats. Boa is terrible and the Straw Hats are pure. Luffy has done nothing wrong, and people have said that. And then you hear about Luffy freeing criminals and murderers from Impel Down, and you think, well, that's not right either. And you go to Blackbeard and how everyone is angry at Blackbeard for stabbing Thatch in the back and how it's scummy to do that. But at the same time, we love Doflamingo. So this is a question I want to pose to you. Luffy's always said he's not a hero, and it's for a specific reason. We always
Right.
hear there's no fair fights in the pirate world, and Luffy understands that. Why do we attach good and evil and clear morality in the pirate world when it's all about what it is they want to do? It's more about your ideals and what you stand for rather than good and evil. And I think that's what Luffy has always been about. You hurt my friends, you hurt someone I care about, we have a problem.
Hmm. Um, I think it's because people place themselves in those situations, right? An example of when this happened is where I think it was a lot more gray than people wanted to accept
Yep.
is in Invincible with Omni Man, where the question was, is he a bad father, right? And I think people looked at the they put themselves in Mark's shoes and they were like, ah, duh, he's a bad father. Father, he beat my ass. And I was like, well, how was he raised? What are the code of ethics and the code of conduct in his world,
Exactly.
right? How do they conduct themselves that way? And so with morality in One Piece, it's gray, but I think morality it takes different shapes. And because you have morality that's more descriptive, right? That's based on a set of rules that these people, this set group, they understand this is how we operate. Then you have more normative morality, where it's basically the average rational person would look at it and say this is right and this is wrong.
Right.
So for us, a lot of us, we look at Kid's crew and we say, oh, they're a piece of shit,
Right.
right? They kill people, right? But I think even in One Piece, killing people based on uh, just how the governing body operates, that's not necessarily a bad thing. They are reasons in which people die, so just killing people isn't a bad thing. And I think the problem in One Piece and why morality is so gray and why people can't just cast can't just think it's black and white is because of the world government having this descriptive morality. They have exceptions,
Yep.
right? And that exception is the celestial dragons. Because of who they are, they get to do whatever they want.
Mm-hmm.
So then, because they have exceptions with this descriptive morality, you can't place normative morality on it. Then you have this opposite end of the spectrum, which Kid verbalized in Sabodi, saying, what the fuck? We are angels in comparison to what they do,
Exactly.
right? We what we do is it pales in comparison to that. So it goes back to like every action has a reaction. And I think once they rid themselves of the celestial dragons, that crazy exception where they can kill people, kidnap people, rape people,
Yep.
they can do whatever they want in regards to whatever they feel like. So at that point, you can't place this morality on everyone else when you're not even following the basic principles of normative morality,
Yep.
because it doesn't exist in One Piece.
It doesn't.
Even for like, so I made a video talking about Blackbeard did nothing wrong. Of course, I was being a bit facetious because I think something that's generally accepted is killing a crewmate, right? In any situation, what we've seen is killing a crewmate. That's where everything stops. We don't know the ins and out of kids' crew, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sure that's one rule they have. We
Yes.
can't kill each other, right? For Blackbeard, um, I would say that's the only thing that I would say is wrong. Of course, saying that he did nothing wrong, that kind of dismisses uh the code of ethics that Whitebeard had on the crew,
Yep.
right? Where the code of ethics, the one rule, the main rule was we don't kill crewmate, right? And Blackbeard did that. Now, when we look at the code of conduct for pirate, right, and we look at it from what's normative and what's generally accepted for pirate, you can say he did nothing wrong, right? He's a fucking pirate. That's what he's supposed to do. But when you look at the descriptive morality and what he was, the governing body and what they set in place, Blackbeard 100% broke that rule. But I think that's where the buck stops.
Yep.
Other than that, even when he met Whitebeard again on the battlefield, at that point, they're two opposing pirates, right? No rules and conditions that had been set in place, like Dorian Brogy, what we think Akainu and Aokiji did. There are two opposing pirates meeting on the battlefield. Everything Blackbeard did to get the dub, he was supposed to do.
Yep.
So it's like for Luffy and his morality is definitely great. I think Luffy is selfish, right?
Very.
But it's from a selfless perspective because everything he does, he's doing it for somebody else, but he
Mm-hmm.
doesn't care about anybody else, right? So
Yeah.
it's like, I'm doing this for me, I'm doing this for my friend. I really don't give a fuck about collateral damage,
Yep.
but because he's doing it for a friend, people tend to overlook the effects it has on other people.
Exactly.
And the thing is, we never really see what happens to the other people. The only time we really saw that was in Impel Down, where they're like, all right, all these people got away, right? And we can't say anything now. They have a bunch of people that's supposed to be erased from the world. They're roaming around free,
Yep.
right? And that's one of the main instances we have. But is Luffy a hero? I think he does have. I think he falls into somewhat of the hero category. I mean, just because he doesn't care about it doesn't mean he's not a hero. I think he's the hero of the story, right? Does he want
Yes.
to be a hero? No, but I mean, he's done more heroic acts in the story than pirates,
Yeah.
right? Because he's not the typical pirate. So he's the exception, and therefore he kind of uh I think he has to accept. I mean, he doesn't have to accept it, but painting him as a hero, I don't think is the wrong thing to do. I mean, he's going around saving people, bringing light to the world. That's typically what heroes do.
You know, I like that answer a lot because when you were talking about normative morality, that's something that really frustrates me when people talk about the Straw Hats and One
Yeah,
Piece. You know, this is something that I've recently started to believe, and Arlong has become a character I've loved to talk about ever since we revisited Fishman Island and Fisher Tiger. And I always pose people this question because we sympathize with what Nami went through, and it's terrible. But after we saw Fishman Island and we saw what they went to, what fishermen were subjected to, I ask everyone this question: why should Arlong give a fuck about humans? Why should Arlong care about humans at all in any capacity?
she shouldn't.
He should not.
She should not. Arlong should not give a fuck about humans. If I was Arlong, I would do the same thing. I
And
would feel the same way, right? It's like
exactly.
in that setting, with everything I went through in the One Piece world, of course we can't we gotta remove the real world logic. In the
Yes.
One Piece world, right? I'm a fisherman, I've been mistreated, see everything that Fisher Tiger went through, Otahima. It's like so many different things. At that point, I want revenge. I want to take it out on somebody. So I find this village and I'm going to be the fucking meanest most just terrible person. I'm gonna
Disrespectful.
I'm gonna do everything in my power to make you feel a just a bit of how we felt, make you feel like animals, like how we felt,
Yep.
force you to do things that you don't want to do, like how I felt,
Yep.
right? Because the fishmen, they've been subjugated to so many different things. I think I saw a theory posted how many different panels there are of straw hats being saying things like calling fish mutant,
Yeah,
saying
half fish, man.
a half fishman. You have no
Z-
way. You have no reason to fight an actual human,
That
right?
Zorro panel's notorious. Zorro's pretty racist to them fishmen, man.
Right. So but this is just what was generally accepted.
Yep,
This is how people viewed fishmen. They were not. They were like they weren't accepted as equals.
exactly.
So it's while I think what Arlong did is generally wrong, right, from a rational standpoint, I can't act like I don't, not necessarily sympathize. I can't act like I don't understand
Yeah,
why he did it, right? And I think that's what we always ask for. Like, what's the reasoning behind it? It wasn't out of nowhere. He didn't do it for no reason.
yep,
He did it because of how the fishmen had been mistreated and still continue to be mistreated.
yep.
You know what I'm saying?
And I think the difference is with Arlong in particular, and I also said this as well. In some ways, Arlong is actually a fisherman hero, because think about how he talked about his brothers, the people that he went around with. When it comes to a fisherman, Arlong will never disrespect a fisherman.
He doesn't play that.
He doesn't play that. He's always uplifting. When they beat up a grunt, fodder, Arlong was incensed. Who put their hands on my brother? A grunt. So I'm like, you're looking into Arlong's mindset where he's extremely violent with humans, but with fishermen, he's like, absolutely not. It's only uplifting. So again, I tie this in with Luffy because Luffy's the same way. Whatever Luffy cares about, he'll go above and beyond to make sure it's free and it's able to do what it needs to do. Whether it's a country, a damsel in distress, whether he wants to eat, he'll do whatever. Arlong, it's very similar. Now, Arlong's a villain. He messed with Nami. We love Nami. So, obviously, he's a villain. He killed people. Killed Belmare. We can't forget that. But with this morality stuff, I need people to understand that you can't dismiss certain characters based on their bad mannerisms if you don't take into the context of what they've gone through. It's like the pirate world. Big Mom. Like, Big Mom said, even pirates have standards. To me, I was shocked by that. But at the same time, she's not wrong. Luffy's hanging around with Kid. Kid murders people. Luffy's out here teaming up with Kid, buddy with a murderer. Mm-hmm. Let's not forget that. Kid is a cold-blooded murderer. His bounty is more about his heinous acts and crimes, crucifying people. But we love Kid, and we teaming up with Kid. Kid is great. Yay! Blackbeard stabs Thatch in the back because he wants the devil fruit. He's wanted for 20 years. He's the worst person we've ever seen in our lives.
But yeah, now the thing is, like, even with Blackbeard doing that, I think out of everything, like, when we talk about heinous acts, right? Again, in that setting,
you're stabbing your alleged brother in the back.
I'm sorry, brother.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, my nigga.
It is what it is.
I'm sorry.
You just found the wrong one, bro.
Hey, the thing is, though, I'd probably approach it like, bro, you probably should give me that devil fruit.
Yeah, right? Listen. You got two choices.
Listen,
give me the devil fruit.
I've been looking for this devil fruit for decades. You probably should give it to me. And he's like, nah. You know what the rule is? If you find a devil fruit, you gotta keep it. All right, fam. All right.
He don't say nothing too. He's like, all right, I got you. He just go away.
You know what I'm saying?
He just go away.
You know what I'm saying? Wait till that nigga taking his shit.
Hit him with the Tyrion. The Tyrion and
dog. It's over for you, Cook. He was a cook, right? I think the nigga was a cook.
Glorified Sanji, bro.
Get this nigga out of here, bro. You wasn't gonna do shit with it anyway.
You wasn't gonna do nothing. You're not built like me anyway. Yeah.
We're brothers, right? We're brothers.
Yeah, we're brothers. Oh my goodness. Nah, so it's definitely an interesting conversation because then if you look at the Marines, their justice is meant to be very black and white. But again, that exception you were talking about, that big exception.
It's a huge exception.
Aokiji saw it at Ohara, and Aokiji's like, if I kill this little girl, bro, like I am evil. Him. He's like, I'm evil if I kill this little girl. Yeah. You know what
I mean? Like Aokiji being the fiery person that he used to be. After that, it was like, like what are we fighting for here?
He had to kill his friend. Him and Saul were good friends.
Yeah, it comes to a place where you look at the Marines and throughout the story, like it's evident now, right, that the Celestial Dragons, they're the great enemy. They're the person that we're fighting against.
Yep.
And the Marines, they fight for them. But then Oda puts pockets of light within that darkness, but then he puts like this this border, this thing that you look at and you're like, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
And that's Akainu, right? People like Akainu, where he's a great Marine because he fights for justice.
Yep.
But Akainu, he typically doesn't mind going too far, right? But because it's in the name of justice, it's generally accepted. But when you look at it, a lot of the shit he's doing, you could say it's wrong, right? Even if you can say abandoning the battlefield, right? That's something that you don't do. It's punishable by death,
Yeah.
right? Typically, it's a certain way that you kill them. Like you don't execute them on the
On the
spot,
spot, like at least
right?
put the man in prison, court martial the nigga.
He's
Like, come
carrying it
on.
out the way he sees
Yeah.
fit. It is
Yeah.
extreme, absolute justice, right? And of course, going back to how they kind of succumb to the celestial dragons and do anything they want to do, right? Shirahoshi almost got kidnapped in front of everyone, and nobody could do anything.
Nobody. Yeah.
They could just watch.
And these are kings, queens,
All they could do is watch.
highest, bro.
And it's and then if I'm seeing that, and there's a bunch of slaves underneath Mary Joa, just it's like if I'm seeing that, bro, how can you as a Marine try to step to me because I raided another pirate ship? I raided a fucking bar.
Yeah.
Nigga, if you don't get the fuck out of my
Yeah,
face,
bro. You got slaves. What are you talking? I'm just trying to
you got
eat.
slaves still to this day.
To this day,
And let's not get started about what y'all did 800 years ago.
bro.
Right? So it's like for people, that's why you can't tell the people of the history. Because the more people know about that shit, they're like, hold on.
It's like this government is. Wait a minute.
This is what this. Oh, nah.
Yeah.
Then they start going on the side of the pirates. Then they start rallying behind Luffy. Then it's like, okay, we have a real uprising.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Then you go back to morality. How do the revolutionaries, how do they function? Are they allowed to kill? Right?
Yeah.
What if they stumble upon a Marine? Can they kill that Marine? It's like it comes down to, I think, morality. You can't paint a broad brush, especially in One Piece, because
cannot.
it's set up that way.
Yeah.
It's set up that way.
And I think it's beautiful. And I think that's this conversation really ties into what we just got with Jinbei and Who's Who as well. Because with the fisherman racism that they deal with, what I was mentioning to my chat is that racism is a system of power. It's implemented for the purpose of spreading a philosophy to the people that don't really think for themselves, people that you're ruling over. So when you view a fisherman, you think you're below me, and it gives you power. Right. But it also gives the world government power over them to control how they think. This is what you should do because you know it's right. Oh, they're right. I have power over fishermen because they're lower than me. So that's when you get the fisherman slavery. You get the disrespect. They're under the surface. They can't come to the surface.
It becomes generally accepted.
And it becomes generally accepted. And the funny thing is the pirates are supposed to be the evil ones. The Marines are supposed to be the good. To the general populace, pirates are bad. Marines are good. Mm-hmm. But the people are racist to fishermen. The Marines, they just follow the world government's order. But again, they're racist to fishermen. So here Jinbei is. All he wants is peace. But he has to deal with racism. He's dealing with another pirate who's racially abusing him as well. Mm-hmm. And you're seeing this moral conflict, which is everywhere. So to me, there's no moral consistency in One Piece. It's about ideals, philosophies, and situations, and how you can push your philosophy and how you think about onto the other at the end of the day. Well. It's agendas. Mm. And Luffy's agenda is freedom.
It's freedom, but Luffy's agenda is it's anarchy.
It's right? Anarchy.
Because what true freedom and what Luffy wants doesn't really exist.
Yep.
Right? It cannot exist. It cannot be allowed to exist because that leads to too many issues. Mm-hmm. True freedom means no governing body, no real restrictions, right? That's the freedom that Luffy dreams about.
Yep.
Right? But I think for Luffy's freedom is just about doing whatever I want to do.
Yes.
Sailing the world and, having fun with my friends. Where for pirate, the world government they can't allow that to happen,
Yep.
right? That's why I'm interested to see how that plays out in the future once
Very interested. Yeah.
once the world government is reformed, with Smoker and Fujitora and Kobe. You can't make an exception for just Luffy,
You can't.
right?
Yeah, because at the end of the
You have
day,
to outlaw all pirates,
you have to rule the
right?
world with order. Pirates is the definition. Being a pirate is the definition of being chaotic. You don't
Right.
follow any order. You don't follow any rules. No matter what you say, you cannot allow humans to be unmanaged or at least not be in some sort of order, or it'll literally be chaos.
It'd be chaos. It'd be chaos. So, um, we'll see how that plays out. But Luffy's freedom, it's no compass. It's just him being him. And I think that's why he's so dangerous, is because he just goes with the wind, right? Of course, he goes with the log post, goes where it takes him, and he doesn't really, um, it's like it's really hard to sway Luffy off his moral stand, right? What's his moral stand just depends on who he likes and if they can feed him,
Yep.
right? It's very simple. It's very simple for Luffy. Remember when Luffy was about to fight Zoro because he hurt the people that fed him,
Exactly.
right? So it's like Luffy, a very simple person. That's why you have people around him to kind of guide him and nudge him in the way he should go. Um, but it's but when you try to know encapsulate freedom and what that's going to be, it's hard to have someone like Luffy exist because of course like he represents freedom in all aspects, but at some point that is going to be restricted because that can't exist with what the world government wants. It can't exist with how the world needs to be governed because Luffy, for all intents and purposes, is the exception. The common pirate is what Eustace Kid is. That's what most pirates do, right?
Yeah.
So it's I I don't know how that goes. I don't know how that goes, but um, freedom, it's a huge theme of One Piece. That's why the destiny and all that stuff is people are turned off from it. But hey, man, that's how it's been since the beginning.
It's been like that. Yeah, I
That's
keep
how
telling
it's
people.
been.
Destiny has
That's
been
how
a
it's
part of One
been.
Piece from the very beginning.
That's
So,
how it's been. Even in the first chapter, it mentions destiny. The first
first
chapter.
chapter. Matter of
Come on,
fact, Dragon and that speech in Logtown,
lockdown.
bro.
Yeah.
All he was talking about was destiny. Like, why do
Hmm.
people?
Yeah.
I
I
don't know,
think, but the
man.
thing is, I think it wasn't as overt, right? It wasn't
Yeah,
as obvious. I think people were in their mind, they were hoping that you know it would be a different route, and it wouldn't have to be connected in this way. But I think it's all been connected. Right? Um, I think. Well, people say I saw someone say no tension. I think there can be destiny with tension, right? Because um, you can have things can be destined for you, and you cannot achieve them. So I think with Luffy, his destiny is to be this person, be the person that has the weight of the world on his shoulders and carry them and change the world. But he has had to do all these things, all those decisions he made, he had to make them
yeah,
himself. Those were not manipulated by anyone. Those were the decisions that Luffy made himself. He had to follow through with all these things. Of course, he was aided throughout his journey, but Luffy had to do these things. I don't think his freedom is compromised in any way. I do understand why people could be apprehensive, right? And I myself, I'm apprehensive with where it could go, but I think so far I think it's fine.
yeah. It's one that was a very good conversation. I mean, One Piece in general. When you really get to the nitty gritty and like the themes that relate to our real world, you realize that Oda's writing One Piece in a very unique way, which is almost it's got a lot of seinen elements to it sometimes when Oda writes about it, because I think we underestimate how dark One Piece is when you think about he doesn't show the reason is because Oda doesn't show us, so we have to imagine it. When you think about what Boa could have went through when she was a slave at 12 and the horrible things, I mean, we just talked about what the celestial dragons can do. They can do whatever. So you imagine someone like Boa and her kid and her children, not children, sisters,
Mhm.
and Sandersonia screaming at what happened, and you think about what happened to the fishmen and the fact that they're viewed less than human. So imagine how they were treated as slaves. You think about Big Mom eating those kids. One
Yeah.
Piece is very dark, and I think we kind of like to gloss it over because it's also is a shonen, and Luffy is very pure, and the Straw Hats are very pure, happy-go-lucky. But outside of the Straw Hats, the world is very dark.
It's a dark, um, messed up world. I think with 1018, with what Who's Who mentioned and that whole interaction with Jinbei, it's a very deep conversation because um, Jinbei, he's face to face with Who's Who, right? And he's Who's Who. He's a pirate, but his history is that of a CP9 agent, somebody that carries out the will of the Celestial Dragons.
Yep.
So for him, how many fishmen has he terrorized? How many fishmen has he done things to? How many fishmen has he enslaved? How many fishmen has he killed?
Yep.
Right? I'm sure for Jinmei, you're thinking about that, and it's like for Who's Who, he represents the system. You represent that faction that does not like my people,
Yeah.
that do not like my people. So when you say things like that and you generalize and you try to downplay my the history of my people, it's infuriating. Like, how dare you?
How dare you? Like
You know what I
seriously.
mean? Like, and for Jinbei, he's carrying on the will of so many different people, so many different fishmen, and he's taken the mantle and he's run with it. He's made so much progress from even what Fisher Tiger did.
Yes.
Right, Fisher Tiger, he didn't have to die. He could have lived,
He could
but
have,
he's
yeah.
like, no, I don't. I'm not accepting that. Right,
And
that hatred ran deep.
And the funny thing is, right? So I haven't released the video yet, but since we're having this conversation, I'll probably release it in unison with this. With Fisher Tiger, someone was like, "Why would he just die? He went out like a bomb because he just didn't take the blood." I was like, "I don't think you understand how powerful of a man Fisher Tiger is." Because when you think about his perception of humans, think about why we said Arlong. Why should Arlong like humans? Fisher Tiger was a slave and then freed slaves. He freed the humans because that is the most anti-human thing to do. In Fisher Tiger's mind, humans are wrong, evil, and disgusting creatures, and I've seen you do it with my own two eyes. He even told Otahime, I've seen what these humans do. I don't want anything to do with them. So killing, pillaging, rape, all the vices of the world. We're not gonna be that. Which is why with some pirates, when they were raiding these ships, we're like, we're not gonna kill them. Why? Because that's the human thing to do. So
That's what they would.
for Fisher Tiger to accept human blood would be a disgrace, and it would spit on his entire legacy, his entire philosophy, his ideology as a man. If he took that human blood, everything he did would be disqualified to him.
Right, and I think what's great about him is that he could differentiate when to, like, morally. He had his own set of principles, right?
Yep, with Koala.
His descriptive morality,
Yeah,
where he understood, like, he had a code of ethics and ways he felt like he was doing good,
yeah,
right? And among those code of ethics is like we cannot we cannot fraternize with the with humans. So for you to tell me to take the blood of a human, people who I despise, I genuinely hate these people for what they've done to me and the things that I see them do on a daily basis.
yeah,
Right? Even in the real world, they talk about humans and how we poison the earth. Right? If somebody came to Earth and they saw what humans did to the earth, they would say humans are parasites. We
yep.
have to get rid of
We
them.
have to get
Right?
rid of him. Yeah,
So for Fisher Tiger, refusing, like, imagine that somebody tells you that you will die unless you go against your lifelong or just your principles,
yes,
and you choose to die because you believe in your principles and you're that real of a person. You're like, no, I'd rather die and die on my laurels than to accept the blood of a filthy human.
yep.
That is a different level of just not only hate but principle.
Ideals.
And it takes a lot to just say I'd rather die.
Yep.
I'm fine. That, bro, a lot of people, most people are taking the blood
Yeah,
because people don't want to die.
yeah,
Can you imagine how much hate you have within you? Where, say, I'm a black man, and for me not to die, I have to take blood from a white person, and I'm like, I'm cool.
That's so much hatred, bro.
That is
That is
so
so much
much
hatred, bro.
hatred that you're willing to choose death. That's what Richard Tiger did.
And then you know the funny thing is this is something I mentioned. This is a guy. There's a reason why people like him, Ace did not let Akainu talk trash about Blackbeard, about Whitebeard. He's like, it's not happening. Him, Luffy, Roger, Fisher Tiger, they're all built the same. Yeah. No matter what situation they're in, it's my ideal or death. That's it. And we have to remember, not everyone should be built that way. This is what separates the special people from, everyday life people like you and me. Now, also, this guy climbed the red line. Do you think about how insane it is?
Yep.
It was crazy for Luffy to climb the that peak where what Luffy did, bro. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Hands bloody, everything. But I'm not letting Nami die. So he climbs, hands bleeding. When Luffy fell down from that snowy mountain and his fingers were dragging with the ice, my skin was crawling because I'm like, that's too much pain. But he still did it. So when you look at someone like Fisher Tiger and he's built the same way and he has the same determination, it's like, it makes sense. Like, there's no way a man like that would ever take human blood. Because imagine if he took it and he had to live with himself after that.
He wouldn't be able to live with himself.
He'd probably kill himself.
And I think some people in his crew were looking at it a bit differently.
Yep.
Right?
They would think about it.
It would contradict his message. Right? And yep. I think because of what he did, someone like Jinbei looked at it and understood what had to happen. Right? Where he took it even further. He's like, you know what? I'm gonna continue your message, but I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take it even further to the point that I'm going to become a warlord to improve the relations between our people, right? And it got to a point where I'm gonna share blood with a human, right? I'm going to follow a human,
yeah,
because for Jinbei, what Koala, I think, taught them as well is that everybody isn't the same. This is somewhat learned behavior, right? People, they are humans that we can depend on, humans you can trust, i.e. Whitebeard, right? There are people that you can depend on. And Jinbei, he saw that in someone like Luffy.
Yeah.
And because of that, he's going to do whatever it takes for Luffy.
Yep.
So Jinbei, with all the progress that he's made, for who's who to just kind of simplify their history and generalize like that.
That was, it really digs deep. You're like, nah, you did not just say that to me, bro.
That's pain, hurt. It's a lot back. It's a lot down there that Jinbei would never. Who had no chance.
None. And that's why, because you notice his hockey changed. His hockey was bleeding before the hockey changed. I told you, ancestor mode. The ancestors took over.
Niggas came back.
Bro.
No, bro. Like, you're not gonna play with me like that. You have no idea the shit that we've been through.
Nothing.
Come on, dog.
Bro.
Who's who? It was over for him. It was over for him. But Fisher Tiger, he's a GOAT.
Bro, I think we do underestimate how great of a character Fisher Tiger is, but also Fishman Island. When you really put these things into perspective, and the more Oda expands on the plight of the fishermen, you really start to look at Fishman Island in a different light, because obviously we didn't like the Sanji stuff. Horty Jones was mid. Let's be real. Nobody really cared about Horty. But when it comes to how society was painted by Oda in Fishman Island, as it carries on, your mindset for certain things and certain moments that happen begin to change, and you begin to understand at a deeper level. So after this conversation that we had, the who's comments become deeper. Before, you thought it was bad already, but when you talk about what we saw in Fishman Island, then you're like, who actually went way too far. Racism is far enough.
He was out of pocket.
But like, this is like a spiritual disrespect. This is ancestral disrespect here.
He was definitely out of pocket, because I think, for black people, it kind of resonates.
Yes.
Right? And it's almost painful, because you just imagine if somebody like that was a slave owner said some shit like that to you, or was affiliated with a slave owner.
That's even worse. Like, you actually had slaves, and then you talk about my people's history.
You cannot speak on that shit. You can't. That's like you can't talk. You can't speak on it. What the fuck is wrong with you?
And I think, and the craziest thing is, I think people sometimes, again, because we're reading One Piece and Oda doesn't show it to us, we underestimate what things like slavery entails. You think it's just people in chains and they're like butlers and maids. For a black person that sees these documentaries and hears our stories from our predecessors, and here, people still to this day don't know how horrific slavery was back then. They don't
Right.
understand. You have images,
Heartbreaking things
bro,
like that.
son,
The things that happen to the men. The things that happen to the men. And happen to the wives.
the
Right.
wives, the
Wives of
children.
happened in front of it. Like things happen to break these men, break the
You
will of these
you
men,
had to break them,
and you had to break them. And then you had like the Mandingo fights. It's all these things
son.
to basically dehumanize and let them know that you're not equal. You are less than, and you will always be less than, right?
Yes,
And so when you hear slavery and you compare that to what like with Jinbei and the Fishman and who's who, it is, bro. That is, you can't. Jinbei should still be smacking him.
he should be.
Still,
He should have killed him. To be right, he should have killed him.
it's like he should have, but it's like Jinbei would never do that.
Yep,
You know what I'm saying? Like because he will always remember that's what a human would do.
yep,
You know what I mean? So he
yep.
would never do that. But it's just like this is something that who's who would never be able to understand because even after Jimmy talked about it, he's laughing. He's laughing. You know what I mean? And then he goes into this whole story about the sun god, and Jimmy's like, "Bro, I don't,
I don't care, bro.
I don't care. What does that have to do with me?" It's like, "Well, you were
You
part
were
of the sun
sun
pirates, right?
pirates, yeah, casual.
Right? Right?" And it's like you're, and in some ways, even if he could end up being correct, you're connecting things that, in a way, like, why are you connecting these two things? You're making gigantic leaps, and you're trying to like trivialize like the Fishman and his history. So like, no, who's who? Get out of here, get out of here. So I think I saw Naya said he was annoyed by who's who because it seemed like he was forced, right?
Mm,
And I understand his perspective because who's who, I think he is, the point of him is not only for Jinbei and the connection with CP9 and slavery, but also to as an information hub,
yeah,
right? To relay information,
yep,
to even the sun god thing and the sun pirates make a connection that seems like a leap but could make sense, right? And you feel like he's just there to communicate these things if you look too deep,
yeah,
right? But I think on its surface he's fine, but you feel it in his dialogue that he's just there spewing information. Oh, Shanks, the Goma no Mi, or the sun guy, he's just spewing it. Somebody said that Jinbei he beat Who's Who because he's about to tell him what the One Piece was. That's how much shit Who's Who knew. He was gonna keep going.
yeah.
So um I think overall it was a it was a fitting interaction. I loved it, especially with Jinbei's response and how Jinbei handled himself.
Yes.
Like even after Who's Who talked about him being slimy, whatever, he's like, "Come on, bro, we don't say shit like that no more." But
Yeah.
once you go to my people, now you cross the line, nigga.
Yeah.
It's not about me, but my people, you
Yeah.
can't fuck with.
And that's a straw hat quality right there. That's like the embodiment of
One
a straw
hundred
hat right
percent,
there. And then you
one
see it,
hundred percent.
and then it's like you learn. You think to yourself, Jinbei is very strong, and I'm not just talking about like physically strong. Emotionally, he's one of the strongest characters we've had in the story. Like just
It's a lot. It's a lot of weight. It's a lot of
a
weight.
lot of weight on
Um,
his shoulders.
that's why that moment in Fishman Island with Nami
Oh,
and Sanji. Like, I get it, right? From Sanji's perspective, of course he was doing too much,
yeah,
right? But I think some of that subtle like racism or subtle hate,
from Sanji. Yeah,
right? It's because of course Sanji being a cook. How long does it take for him to view these people as people?
yeah,
Right? Because he viewed the women as, he kind of objectified the women, but for the men, it's like, how did he view them?
yeah,
How long would it take? And of course, you can mask it by saying, no, this is for Nami, but he's doing a bit much. And when you look at the dialogue and things he said in the past, it's like that's something he probably had to overcome,
yep,
right? But Jinbei experiencing all of that, just brushed it off, and that shows the maturity. It shows the experience, and I think as a character, he probably does not get half the credit that he deserves
Yeah.
for a lot of the things that he's accomplished. Like outside of what he's done for Luffy, because we can go down a list of things that he's done for Luffy. How many times he's not only saved his life, but mentally been there for him. When like he's been there for Luffy every
In
step of the way when
in
he needed
all
him.
of his worst moments. All
In
of
his
them.
worst moments, he was somebody he could always depend on. Is Jinbei.
Yeah.
He had just met Luffy. Oh, the brother of Ace, whatever.
I got him. Yeah.
I'm a roll with you, right? And from Marineford protecting you from Akainu, Amazon Lily, Fishman Island. Come on, man. Shout out to Jinbei, bro.
Think
Shout out to
about and think about the mental fortitude it takes. You already seen what humans have done to you, but you have enough humility to get on your knees, bow your head, cry, and apologize to Nami.
Jinbei.
Bro,
He
after everything we've just talked about, the
he
fortitude to do
apologized.
that.
He apologized for that shit, even though Arlong was
He
100%
wasn't
justified.
wrong.
He was justified. He, Jinbei said, "I'll take the weight.
You can kill, and
I'll,
he said you can kill me if you'd like.
you can kill me if you like. I'll take the weight of it because I understand what he did was wrong. That shouldn't have happened.
Yeah,
He was willing to do that. He's always willing to take the weight, be the sacrifice, be the person, be the punching bag. I'll do that for my people.
yeah,
It's like I'll take it. That's fine.
yeah.
But but like it's
I love
man,
Jinbei,
that's just
bro. I
crazy.
swear to God, I'm
Yeah,
about to cry, dog. I love
yeah,
Jinbei,
man, that's
man.
just crazy,
Jinbei is
man.
awesome, bro. Oh my
One hundred
God,
percent,
son.
bro.
Jinbei is
He's amazing.
awesome.
Nah,
Wow.
he's fire. He's fire. When you think about it and everything that he's done,
Yeah,
he's a goaded character. 100%.
yeah. Like his addition to the Straw Hats is it's even more perfect addition than you think about now. Like he's not only the adult now, but he's like the moral. It's like a moral police away for the Straw Hats now as well.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's so much that he brings to the table. It's a lot that it's a lot that he can do, right? Because as a helmsman, as emotional support, as the maturity, strategy, and he is a fishman, right? He is somebody that like we see how strong Jinbei is on land.
Yeah. In water, boy. Oh my God. You imagine Jinbei in water against somebody? Nah, you're losing 10 times out of 10. For Kaido, it's like land, sea, and air. See Jinbei.
Come on, man.
See
Come
Jinbei,
on,
bro.
man. Come on, man. Like Jinbei, like it's like Law and Kid reacting to him joining the crew that way is perfect because it's like you're adding Jinbei. Even CP0 was like, I don't know if who's
Yeah,
gonna make
he
it out
ain't gonna make it. He
alive.
fighting Jinbei. He ain't gonna make it, bro.
He's
Like,
fighting
they
Jinbei.
were worried about information. Like, nah, don't worry about it. Jinbei gonna
Like
pack
he
him up.
might be all
Jinbei
right.
gonna
You
pack
might be
him up.
good because I don't know. He is fighting Jinbei after all, right? Um, so that goes back to like what makes it so much make him so much more intimidating because it kind of said to Jinbei, wait, you know how strong I am, you know how devastating I can be, Jinbei, right? Like so it's just like, man, if anything, if you didn't have respect for Jimmy before, I hope this conversation opened up your eyes to just the type of person, the type of fishman that Jinbei is,
Yeah,
and what he brings to the table, and
yeah,
what he's done for the story, what he's done for Luffy, and what he will continue to do. No, like when you think about sacrifice and think about it as the story goes
yeah,
on,
yeah.
that's somebody that I could 100% see actually sacrificing himself for Luffy,
Yes.
like dying for Luffy, because he understands Luffy is the person, the individual that they're waiting for that's going to guide Shirahoshi on how to use this power and eventually overthrow the Celestial Dragons.
Yeah.
So if I have to give my life to ensure that this person lives, this person that's going to see the dawn of the world come to fruition, I will gladly do it so my people can see the sun.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it means to be the leader of the Sun Pirates. So I think, hopefully he doesn't die, but it I could say it could happen.
Yeah. Well, just for the sake of time, because we're hitting that we're in that mark. But I mean, this conversation, I think it's just a testament to, the things that we don't appreciate. One Piece, sometimes we can get lost in the overarching plot. And a lot of
Yes.
people do. A lot of people don't really understand Jinbei's character, and we kind of just see, the things that we see up front, where it's like
Yep.
Jinbei's cool, he's a great fisherman, he's an adult. A lot of people think Jinbei's just the big adult, but then when you
Mhm.
dig deep and you think about the context, because context is everything with these characters. Once you start looking
Mhm.
at the context, you start opening your eyes. Like, Oda has been carefully building Jinbei up behind the scenes since his first introduction,
Yes.
carefully. And
Yes.
Fishman Island is better. It gets better and better when you understand what it did for the context of the world and its characters, not the
It was
plot of Fishman
absolute.
Island.
It was
Yeah,
necessary.
it was necessary. It was
It was
needed.
necessary. I
So
think us seeing that hate, that visceral, pure hate that Hody Jones had,
yes,
to the point that Otohime had to die. It it just shows you how, how just years of strife and years of turmoil can cause infighting, right?
yep,
Because people are going to disagree on certain principles, and some people are going to be radicalists. Some people are going to feel like, we probably shouldn't do this. We should just remain where we are. And we see some of that in the black community,
yeah,
right? And this is
we definitely
spans
see
so
it.
many different years where, a lot of people don't agree on things, and then, you have uh, people that are kind of planted in the black community to turn black people against each other, to
Oh
turn to
man,
eradicate the black family, things like that. So it's just like, art is an imitation of life, and I think what Oda has done with the Fishman and Fishman Island and One Piece in general, it's
it's special.
it's I mean, it's literally a masterpiece.
Yeah.
It is. So
And can you imagine if we had a representation of Jinbei in today's age? Nowadays, people would call him a coon.
100%.
They would call him a coon.
They
Imagine
would.
that.
They would, because, you know, your queen dies, right? That's like killing, for instance, I don't know, say
Oprah.
somebody killed Beyonce,
Yeah.
right? Somebody killed Beyonce, then somebody goes and takes it out on some white nation, and Jinbei apologizes, hands on his knees, and they're like, "Yo, what are you doing?"
What are you
Like,
doing, bro?
they
Like,
killed they killed Michelle Obama,
yeah.
right? They killed Michelle Obama, and like, you're apologizing? No, they should have died.
Yeah,
You're a
should have.
coon.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Yeah, get
Get out
out.
of here.
You're not welcome here no more.
Get out of here, right? And I think people like that, people that are willing to sacrifice, and it doesn't matter about what happens to me. It's all about the cause, and it's all about the people and pushing forward that message. They typically don't live long, right? A lot of these people, Fred Hampton, shit, even Tupac,
Yeah.
right? The messages that they push forth, how they live their life, they're radicalists. They're all about spreading the message and empowering the people. But for the establishment, we can't have the people be empowered. We need the people to be unmotivated, uneducated, so that we can manipulate them, because the more they know, the less we can control them.
Yeah.
And for the establishment, the most important thing is control.
Yeah.
And the more we know, the less you know, the more we can manipulate and control you. So, you know, Jinbei is a legend. Jinbei is an unsung hero, and I'm really happy we got to kind of talk about him today,
Yeah.
because he's done a lot. He's done a lot. Not gonna
Yeah.
lie.
He has.
So,
Jinbei right now, I'm gonna have to reconsider my top characters for sure. I'm gonna have to do a stream one day where I do my top 30 One Piece characters or something like that. But definitely a lot to think about.
not saying.
I want to
Same.
reread Fishman Island too. I think I'm gonna take the time to really reread Fishman Island. I have my New World box set, so I got Fishman Island. We good. We good.
Time.
We good.
Time. It's time,
It's
bro.
that time. It's that time. Maybe an arc analysis in the future. Maybe.
Hey, drop that heat.
Drop that heat. But yeah, guys. So that's it for the topics. Really, we're kind of done. I hope you guys enjoyed the conversation. I'll give us a little bit of time if you want to ask Brago a question. Ask me a question. You want us to answer anything that you guys have. Now's the time. Because we got things to do. You know what I'm saying? Playoffs is
Right.
tonight. So
I don't.
I'm not gonna watch the game. I'm probably not gonna watch the game.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna watch the game.
Series might be over, man. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie to you, man. It might be over.
I just need Chris Paul to win at this point. That's all I'm
Yeah,
waiting
that's
for
all I'm
now.
rooting for. Root for anybody black.
It's funny because Trae Young and Giannis are out, so now we got to cheer for Pat Connaughton and Herter.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm crying.
So, you know what I'm saying? That's kind of where I am. That's kind of where I am with it.
They asked Dwayne O says, I want to hear Brago's opinion on the possibility of multiple Joy Boy candidates.
I like that idea. I think that would be a bit more cohesive because it would then bring up the possibility of Joy Boys in the past failing,
Yes.
right? So essentially all these people, all these prophecies predicted a Joy Boy, the next Joy Boy, and all these Joy Boys came along and they did not fulfill their destiny,
Yep.
right? So, for instance, Ace, Roger, all these different people who were supposed to be the one and they couldn't achieve it, right? They and maybe it wasn't a necessary time, but I wouldn't mind that. But some people feel like it would be such strict parallels. It would make it seem like Luffy was truly destined to accomplish these things. I would like it, but it would depend on how it is communicated,
Yep.
how it's executed. But
Yep.
I wouldn't mind it at all.
It's funny because someone actually mentioned with Joy Boy, you kind of have this like liberating factor to you, or you have this uniqueness, kind of like the Fisher Tigers and the Ace, like we mentioned. They very ideal heavy. They force the ideals onto those around them. And someone
Right.
mentioned Blackbeard being a Joy Boy candidate, and I thought about it, and I was like, well, he did go to Impel Down, and he did liberate those prisoners. And with his ideals, you remember what Shiryu said about him. Shiryu said, listen, I joined you because you're interesting, and I kind of want to see where you're going with this. Blackbeard has that charisma that Luffy has where people are
Didn't
drawn to
you
him.
say I was waiting for a man like you?
Yes, he's literally said, I was waiting for a man like you.
Yeah.
So Blackbeard has these qualities. And they're just on a more negative, they're more on a not morally correct side of things, but it's still the same qualities. So I mentioned to O'Hara before, I'm like, there could be a possibility of Blackbeard being a Joy Boy candidate. You don't think Zebek would be a Joy Boy candidate?
Um, that is interesting. That is interesting. What I think about with the Joy Boy candidacy, I'm thinking about the journey and your goal, right? Because whatever Roger told Whitebeard, he knew from Blackbeard and the things and the words he said, he was like, "You're definitely not the man that Roger is waiting for." Right. So and then I think about abilities like the voice of all things
Yep,
and how that's going to be necessary for Joy Boy because we know
absolutely.
Joy Boy, it is a unique relationship with Fishman Island and Poseidon. And the purpose is to guide Poseidon and how to use her powers so that they can liberate the world. It's funny because I think in Burning Blood, Blackbeard had an attack called, is it Liberation?
Yes.
I think that's
Yeah,
what
he did. I think that's when he uses Vortex, right? Uses Black
yeah, and then
Hole.
he
When he
yeah,
releases everything, it's Liberation. Very
yeah,
interesting. I didn't think about that
yeah,
either. Huh.
right. So I mean, we don't know if Blackbeard has the voice of all things, right? We don't know. I mean, it's possible. I think if he does have that, um, that would make things much more interesting,
Yeah.
much more interesting. Because I think Blackbeard could be trying to quote unquote liberate the world, but liberate the world to fit his own agenda. Where at that point he just assumes control,
Yep.
where um, unrivaled power seems to be his goal.
Yep.
And I think what we've seen from throughout history and in numerous stories, um, humans in general can't handle too much power,
No. No, they
right?
cannot. Yeah.
So it's all bad if Blackbeard does assume control.
So when Rain Tesla asked, where do you see Jinbei's character going in the future? I see Jinbei kind of settling in, like the rest of the Straw Hats eventually. I think Oda has done a good job. So anytime we deal with the Fishman rhetoric, we're just gonna learn more. Because basically everything that we explained about Jinbei today is something we should have known, but we never looked into it. So Oda's developed Jinbei already. So Jinbei's job is in line with Luffy. If he eventually defeats the Celestial Dragons, he's already partnered with Shirahoshi. At this point, Jinbei's job is just to be with Luffy until his dream gets accomplished. Kind of like
Right.
what's happening with Sanji and Robin. Very similar. If Luffy completes his journey, Jinbei's journey is also completed.
Yes.
So
Yes.
Jinbei, he's gonna be part of the Straw Hats officially when they party after Wano's done. They have the banquet. Jinbei's gonna be just like Robin Sanji, just like them. He'll just have
Yeah.
his own developed character.
Yeah. You know, his goals they're kind of mirrored with Fishman Island. So I mean, Luffy at some point, if the prophecy, I mean, typically, I mean, Shirley's prophecies they always come true.
Yeah.
Unless the person with the straw hat is not Luffy, and it's somebody mimicking Luffy or copying Luffy, or because there are people with abilities that can do that.
Yep.
But we all predict that Luffy goes back to Fishman Island, and I think um, destroys this place, similar to what he did to Nami, so that there's nowhere to return to.
Yeah.
And you're forced to go to the sun. You're forced to walk among the people. You're forced to get on the Noah, because where are you going to go back to? Fishman Island is destroyed. The fishmen belong with the people. And so I think Jinbei, he's going to follow Luffy wherever, because, Otohime, her dream was for the fishmen to see the sun, right? And not the fake sun, to see the actual sun.
Yeah.
And that coincides with the dawn of the world. So I think Jinbei is going to be a straw hat through and through. Follow Luffy to Fishman Island, destroy it, do whatever it takes to get the fishmen to above water, above ground. So Jinbei, in my opinion, I mean, he's already a straw hat, but I think once at the end of Wano, once they have that feast, that banquet, that's when that's his that's when he gets sworn in.
Yeah. I think that's going to be great, because remember, they wanted to commemorate Jinbei's joining already before they even went into Onigashima, and they're like, wait a minute, we probably shouldn't do that.
We can't do that right now.
So they still need to do that. But last question, I actually think this is a very nice question, because we talked about this a little bit earlier before the stream. His name is I'm Haya. He said, some advice to a beginner in One Piece YouTube. I do theories mainly, but I struggle with editing and even sometimes with structuring of the script. Now, you can go first, Brago. I have an answer, or I can go. To me, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, what you got to say, Jay? I'll go after.
So for me personally, right, because I'm growing right now, and I've had a long journey trying to figure out how I want to do my content. Brago knows more than anyone. Brago and Dritz would know more than anyone. So I can definitely resonate with this, and I would say this: the best thing that you can ever do for yourself and your channel is to figure out what is the type of content you want to do within the genre you're looking for. If you do mainly theories, find your own style of editing. Even if it's difficult, you get better with practice and you get a rhythm. You always want to get a rhythm. If you keep breaking that rhythm, it's going to be tough. When it comes to structuring your script, keep it very simple. Your script should tell a story. What is the story you're trying to tell? Beginning, middle, and end. And just frame it in that sense. So the idea for your content should always be in a story format. Look out structures for stories and all kinds of other things. It doesn't have to be so overcomplicated, but you should be trying to relay a message to somebody. You should be trying to convince somebody of something. You should have a point. The title is always the point of your video. So whatever is the final point of your script, format it in that way, where you have a beginning. If you need to fluff up a little few things, if you need to explain a certain character analysis to help your theory out, start off there, get to the middle, kind of reintroduce what it is you're talking about, and then that final take that you wanted to push, then you capitalize on all of it at the end. And you just keep that format will never change. It's just the topic that'll change and the evidence that'll change. So that's really how I would tackle that. But definitely, if you have what type of videos you want to do, stick to that. Everyone has their own editing style. I have a different editing style than Brago. Brago has a different editing style than Grand Line Reviews. Find your style. It's all about your rhythm and your own style. Because if you try to copy everybody else, you try to do these things that you don't really feel comfortable doing, don't do it. Find a way that works for you, and you'll be fine. That's my advice. I don't know about you, Brago.
That's great advice. I would just say, um, just start, just start. Um, One thing for any YouTuber, you would know that when you start YouTube, for me, starting 6 years ago, right, to now, I've found my voice. I've developed the way that I want to communicate, the way that I'm comfortable communicating. But back then, I just tried things. I tried so many different things. I tried different camera angles. I tried different mics. I tried different, different editing softwares, right? I tried different formats. I tried different ways to present my information, video essays, scripts, off the cuff, bullet points, right? I try all these things to see what works for me.
Yeah.
I think what more than anything, you have to find what works for you.
Yep.
Maybe you have a voice that, a voice of an angel, right? So at that point, you have something that you can work around.
Yep.
Maybe you are a beautiful person, right? Um, Attraction is a currency, and that's something that, especially with any Twitter, any YouTube,
Yep.
people flock to that,
Yep.
right? People like looking at pretty things in the anime community. Maybe that could be something that you capitalize on, but you have to try things. If you don't try it, you're not gonna know.
Yep.
So try the face cam, right? Try just your audio and recording that. But one thing you got to do if you're gonna do it, be consistent,
Yeah.
right? Sleepy Johnson. Um,
I'm crying.
uh, but you know what I'm saying? So it's like you gotta just find your voice and be consistent. Like you're not gonna get like it's very rare to be um uh
This nigga North Blue dog. I wasn't ready to read that, yo.
nigga say you look like Hachi, bro.
Now I want to see him make a video. Cause I want to see if this nigga really look like Hachi or not. Now you gotta make a video, nigga. You done set yourself up. I better see a video tomorrow, alright?
Yo, you better change your name to East Blue Hachi or some
Blue
shit, bro.
Hachi.
As you growing subs, just change it. East Blue Hachi, Grand Line Hachi, bro. Now, bro, I'm gonna support you, dog.
Yeah.
I'm gonna support you. You know what I'm saying? But find find your voice, my nigga. Holy shit, find your voice. Try things, and you're gonna see what works eventually. You're always gonna figure it out. But once you do it, it's like you feel it, right? As you start going through your journey, you understand what works, what people like from you. Um, and you might strike gold, and then all of a sudden you're like, damn, I'm happy I tried all these different things. So now I know what to do. Try streaming. You know what I'm saying? Try all these different things, and then eventually just try to grow in an area maybe every couple months or so, where it's like, all right, you start out, you got a cheap mic. Maybe you have no mic. You got some Apple headphones. Start out doing that, and you got a bum ass webcam, but you're putting content out. You're just trying things. You're seeing what works. Then 3 months later, you get maybe a blue snowball. I think it was like 40, $50, if maybe less. You get something like that. 3 months later, you get maybe an HD webcam. You're slowly upgrading your content,
Yep.
upgrading your setup. And by in a year or two, all of a sudden you got like this official setup. You understand what you're doing and you're rolling. But if you consistently say, I'm thinking about starting, I don't know, I'm not good with editing, I'm not, bro,
Yeah.
it's gonna be 2026 and you're like, all right, I'm about to start, nigga. One Piece is about to be done.
It's about to be done. Yeah.
It's about to be over. You know what I'm saying?
The
You
more
gotta start now, nigga.
the more excuses
Start
you make
now.
for yourself, I promise you, you're not gonna make videos. I promise
Nope.
you. After I stopped making excuses for myself, bro, I just said, nah, I'm going through with it. When I did this JDL show, you can ask Brago. I asked him. I didn't know. I didn't know if it would work or not. And he was like, just do it, but you got to be consistent. We're on episode 7 now, and now it's a regular thing. And I just had to do it. But you understand, think about if you followed my channel for a long time, you know that I've been experimenting with content for so long. It's ridiculous. Now I found a stride for myself where I'm doing this consistently every time. 3 videos. If I have more other topic ideas, I'm always brainstorming other topics because at the end of the day, YouTube is about consistency. That's it. At the end of the day, if you're not consistent, you'll never succeed. Look at every big channel you've ever seen. If they drop one video a week for a year, YouTube recognizes that consistency and they push that content. But if you're sporadic and you have no consistency, you'll never grow. So what Brago said is, you just got to do it. You'll learn as you go, but you have to do it. And he mentioned that English isn't his first language. We have YouTubers, O'Hara, that's not his first language. English ain't his first language. You've heard him talk. But you can still do it. If your content is good and you make a good point, people still gonna watch you.
Yeah.
So don't set limitations for yourself. Don't do that. No. Trust me, I've been fighting, and if there's anyone who will tell you you can do it, it's gonna be me. Because you can 100% do it. 100%. Yeah, so just go through with it, bro. Just do it.
Just go look at the first video on my channel. And after you see that shit, you're gonna be like, shit, I damn sure can do that shit.
Yeah.
My first video was trash.
Bro.
And it's still up. It is still up. I did not delete it. It's trash. I don't know. I didn't know what I was saying. I was saying the wrong name of the chapter. My camera was, I swear, worse than 360p. I didn't have a mic, nigga. I was just out here. I was just like, man, I'm just gonna do it. And you know, after a while, you just slowly see the growth and see the progression.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? you just see.
Joker's just so dumb, bro. He be in your chat every day and still saying stupid shit. Every day, Joker there, your vid stink, nigga. But I'm still gonna see it.
Joker, you might be right. You might be right. But you know what I'm saying? It's it shows it's been some progress. You know what I'm saying? And so I think it wouldn't have happened if I didn't start. I had to start and be consistent, and that's the hardest thing because you gotta. I think I look at burgers. Virgos just be catching mad strays out here
for no reason, bro.
Virgo got a mic for sure. Now listen. I don't.
Where's Virgo at? He gotta defend himself, bro. He gotta fight back sometime, nigga.
I ain't gonna lie. I saw like a Virgo clip on Twitter today. And I was like, where the fuck is Virgo? Is he in jail? This nigga got a blue Yeti, and this nigga sound like he like in a tank. I was gonna comment. I was like, I'm gonna wait till I talk to this nigga and see what's going on, because you got a good mic. Why do you sound? Is it on? Does it work? Is it just there? We gotta ask the tough questions, because I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. And that's my nigga. That's my nigga. But then he got the Mexico filter. Like, I don't know. It's all. We can see him now, right? But that's the point. He's made progress. He's made progress. He's grown. We never used to be able to see Virgo. Bro, Virgo just did a face reveal this year. And Virgo's been on YouTube for years. I promise you. He's been on YouTube for years. So, like, he's made progress. Regardless of what he's
Telemundo.
And that's my nigga, though. That's my nigga, bro. But shit, man. That shit had me rolling when I saw that shit on Twitter. I was like, what? This nigga do got a mic, right? Why does nigga sound far away and close at the same time? That shit was it was blowing my mind. It was like earception. I don't know.
He's a mysterious nigga,
shout out to my nigga Virgo, man. Shout out to my nigga. I don't know.
Oh my God. But yeah, that's really it, bro. I mean, I give people the same advice all the time, man. If you're asking for YouTube, consistency. To me, if you're asking for my advice, I hope you take it seriously because I will look at your channel. And if you're not consistent, man, it shows me you're just not serious.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of
Yeah.
the day, every YouTuber tell you, if you see the consistency, people will take you seriously. He's hustling. He's grinding.
Mm-hmm.
People already, no matter how many subs you got, no matter how many views you get, if you're consistent, you will have a respect from your peers. Always.
Absolutely.
You'll always have the respect.
Because when you're doing this, you understand how much time you got to put in,
Yeah.
right? There's a lot of times where there are things that I really want to do. I'm like, bro, I really want to go to the park. I really want to
Yes.
play 2K. I really want to play Smash. I really want to watch this anime. But I got to record, right? I got to work on this video. I got to edit.
Gotta make this
I
thumbnail.
gotta fix. I gotta do this thumbnail. I gotta research topics. I gotta go reread this arc, right? I gotta go reread multiple arcs, right? And these are things that you gotta do, or I gotta stream, right? And you prioritize these things, and when you prioritize things, you know what's important in your life.
Yep.
If you're not on YouTube at this point, if you're not doing these things at this point, it's not important to you,
Yep.
right? So I think until it's important to you, until it matters, then you're not going to do it because you have to give something up. Like how you're going through life. Maybe you don't do shit all day. If you don't do shit all day, this is something for you to do. But if you're doing shit all day, if you're working all day, or if you're playing video games, if you are that nigga in 2K or Madden or even Smash, you're gonna have to sacrifice some of that time and some of those hours to put into, because the beginning is really tough, right? And the reason why it's tough is because you have to learn how to edit, you have to learn how to make thumbnails, you have to learn how to record, right? Because you're like, shit, what do I record with?
Yep.
Right? What software do I use?
How's my
Right?
audio
Even when you
quality?
get it, right? Even when you get a new mic, something that I've gotten better with is editing my audio post recording. Right? That's something you got to learn. And one of the hardest things as a YouTuber that you have to deal with is technology, my nigga. Like you have to deal with so much shit. You know how many times I've recorded some shit and either the file is corrupted, my mic is muted. It's
Just the
so
mic
much,
mute, bro.
bro. So many things that could go wrong, and you're just there, like, bro. So many times I recorded a review, and I'm there. And one time I had both my fucking mics on, my nigga. So
Oh my god, nigga.
the audio it sounded like two niggas talking, and I'm like, oh man. And this is like after streaming all night. Now I got to record a review, nigga. I don't feel like recording this again. I'm like, all right, fuck it, boot it up. We about to say all
We
this
gotta say
shit
it all
right
over again.
right over again, nigga. There've been times where I'm about to be done editing. And the thing is, I forgot to save my fucking work. So
Oh
then
boy, oh that's the worst pain. There's
Adobe
not worse than
crashes
that.
on me. I open up my editing software, nigga. It was a 16-minute video. I'm still at 3 minutes, nigga.
You want to see real anger?
Oh,
You gonna see real anger after that. I'll never forget it, bro. I had so much edited, my computer crashed. I was at
oh,
1 minute.
dog. Like
Oh
you don't understand that pain. And the thing is, I have the autosave on.
yeah,
I have the autosave
my
on. I
mods
have
were
it on.
there. My mods were there when it happened. I literally was editing a video in front of them. My computer crashed, boy. When the curse words that came out of my body.
That shit is the worst feeling. It's the worst feeling because I'm just like, yo, what? I gotta, I was bodying this editing. I was doing so much, and it's much harder to re-edit than to re-record because with editing, it's like images, videos you've pulled in, you've done different animations, you've done so many different things. You 4 hours in, my nigga. You 4 hours in, you about to finish that last minute.
Yeah.
And then your computer crashes, you can't recover the file. Oh,
And it's like 12 o'clock at night.
oh,
Ah, nigga.
I ain't watched the game for this.
Yo, bro. You could have
Oh
been
my,
doing anything, bro. You could have been out with the
that
homies
shit,
right now, bro. Like, just.
that shit is demoralizing. And there's so many times we just want to say, fuck it, I'm done. But then I work on the video, I upload it, I'm like, you know what? I'm happy I finished it.
Yeah.
Took me twice as much time as it should have, but I got done, and I'm like, bro, I'm happy I got it done.
Yeah.
But then that's the video. Now I got to work on the thumbnail. And if you want to have really good thumbnails,
Yeah, that's a long
you're gonna
process too.
spend some time on your thumbnails.
People underestimate how long it takes to really get a thumbnail because this is some tech for everybody. If you're making a thumbnail, your thumbnail needs to tell a story.
Yeah.
Think about when you click a video of mine or Brago's. You're always looking at two things: the thumbnail and the title.
The title, yeah.
People
Telling the
complain
story.
about clickbait a lot. People don't click if it's not clickbait. I'm gonna have to repeat this for y'all again. You're not going to click on anything unless you're baited to click it. Now there is dishonest clickbait where it's
Right.
like you.
It's not even about what you
Yeah,
say.
you don't deliver on the title. That's clickbait. That's like terrible clickbait. You want to click on the title, which is why I want you to be interested. Shanks kills Blackbeard. People will think, what the hell are you talking about? Shanks killing Blackbeard, and then I have a thumbnail of Blackbeard's hand through Shanks' chest, and it actually looks nice. That's what we talk about when you make a good thumbnail and a good title.
Yeah.
But think
You
about how
want it to be
long that
engaging.
takes.
Yeah, because like there are times where like I have a video now, right? It's been done for like 2 weeks, probably like a week and a half. It's been done. I haven't found the right thumbnail for it yet. Haven't found the right thumbnail. I'm still trying to figure out what the right thumbnail for it is gonna be, and because I haven't found it, I'm like I can't put it out yet. And that's how important having a good thumbnail is, because it's that is the poster. That is the movie poster. That's something that everybody's gonna see.
Yep.
And then it has to coincide with the title. And then when people see it, they're like, oh, okay, I'm interested in this. And that's so important to the video.
Yep.
The presentation. And of
Yep.
course, you got to deliver,
Have to.
right? Once you have the title and the thumbnail, they go in, then they're like, okay, you don't want to have 5-star title, 5-star thumbnail, and then you got shit audio, you got shit video, and just a shit conversation.
Ass. The content is
Just
ass.
Right? But if you already have a fire title and fire thumbnail skills, then you know what you got to work on, right?
Exactly.
But the thing is, if you're just starting out, don't focus on intro, don't focus on outro.
Nope.
You focus on the content, focus on the presentation.
Yes.
Go get Photoshop. There are ways on the internet where you can get Photoshop for free. Play around in Photoshop. Look on YouTube. You can learn so much from YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it's so much out there. It's easier to learn than ever before. Where you can learn, or you can go on YouTube and figure out how to buy an entire setup. The setup you should get.
Yeah.
Do that shit.
And you can do it on a phone. I know people that make their thumbnails on the phone. There's a lot of apps where people make thumbnails on their phone, so you can do it. But one thing I want people to understand this: when you're making a thumbnail, right? You think about what goes into it. If you're trying to paint a story, and like I mentioned, let's use Shanks kills Blackbeard for an example. One, I have to find an image of Shanks standing. It's either I'm gonna find that, or I'm gonna have to commission some art where they're gonna have to draw Blackbeard putting his hand through Shanks, because you're not gonna find that anywhere. So you have to make that work. But that's just the beginning. Because then what about the surrounding? So when you think thumbnails take 20 minutes, no. You're basically storyboarding at that point. You're in a meeting with yourself and trying to see, does this capture their attention? And then you have to look at different angles. When you look at your phone, can people see what's going on in the thumbnail? When they're on the computer, is the resolution high enough where it doesn't look like a bodega ass thumbnail? Or like, well, I'm not gonna take this video seriously. Look at the thumbnail.
Yeah, right. The thumbnail tells a story, right? So it's like a lot of times it's about telling a story and for me, I try not to spoil as well, right? So it's like I'm telling the story, and if you've read the chapter, you understand it. So it's like an inside thing with me and people that have read the chapter or know what's going on.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, because I'm doing that, people that haven't read the chapter, they're like, hold up, what's going on here?
Yep.
Why? What does this mean?
What does that even mean?
Because it's vague, right? But if you read the chapter, you understand.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm talking about. Right. But because it's so vague, people are like, there's so many people that they're like, bro, I haven't read the manga. I just watched the anime, but I had to see what was going on. Yeah. I just had to click the video to see what you were talking about.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what you want, because you're attracting people to say, shit, I gotta let me click about this shit. You know what I'm saying? I gotta see what's going on. Like, because I I think in the past, like, I want to say 2 years ago, I didn't give a fuck about spoiling anybody. I was like, if I read the chapter, niggas that subscribe to the chapter gonna read the chapter. Subscribe to me, you're gonna read the chapter. Then I think a video blew up, and then there was a lot of people that were like, "Bro, I'm not caught up. This is in the algorithm. This is recommended, and this is fucking spoil the shit out of me." I'm like, "Shit.
Yeah.
Okay, let me revisit this. Let me rethink this on how I could be more considerate, not only my subscribers but potential subscribers.
Yeah.
Because if you spoil somebody, they ain't gonna come back and sub to
They're not
you.
gonna come back. Yeah.
They're like, you spoiled the shit out of me. I'm not gonna sub to you.
Yeah.
So after that, I had to take a route of like, okay, how can I not spoil? It got to the point where I would even troll using thumbnails. I had a thumbnail of the chapter with Odin where the thumbnail was an L. The thumbnail was an L.
Yeah.
And I said, no, it's not him.
Yeah.
That was the title. The thumbnail is an L, and the title is no, it's not him.
Yeah.
They're like, hold up. Wait, is it could it be an L? And I told them, and then people come in and like, come on, bro. So it's not an L, nigga. I told you in the title that it's not an L. Well, you thought it was an L?
Yeah.
But that's the thing. It's capturing the attention, and people are clicking on the video. So it's just like it's you being clever, thinking of ways, and something that you like. Something I used to do was like I used to put too much detail, right? I used to put like subtle hints in the thumbnail, like behind Luffy's ear, right? Like a little shit on Luffy's arm for you to see. When I'm like, people don't even see that shit. So now I'm a bit more overt. For my April Fool's video, I think I had Akainu and Kizaru on the thumbnail,
Yeah.
right? And something subtle I did, I had April Fools on their marine hats. So Akainu's hat had April and Kizaru's hat had Fools. Right. So if you notice that, you got that it was an April Fool's video. If not, then so be it. But you went back and like you see, like, fuck, it was right there all along. So doing shit like that, it's like, kind of having fun with it, but being creative and getting people to click on the video.
This is actually an interesting question. I did want to close this, but this is very relevant to what we got yesterday. LeBron and Six said, "How do you guys deal with hate as YouTubers, especially as Black YouTubers covering something like anime and manga?" It's a very interesting question.
I don't know. I guess for me, it's knowing value, right? What do I value at this point? I value my peace of mind. I value positive reinforcement. I value just positivity overall. So I get a lot of negative comments. I get a lot of people telling me that I'm shit, that I don't do whatever, right? So a lot of times I have fun with it. I may respond, but the thing is, typically, if I'm gonna block you, I respond first, right? So I respond and I block you before you respond. So I respond. So you say something like, "Bro, this is shit. This is a fucking stupid ass idea. You're a bitch." Da da da. And I'll be like, I'll respond like, "Bro, why do you think I'm a bitch?" Then I block him, right? So I block him, and then it's like I can just imagine how fucking pissed this person is because they finally got a response and
And
they
they can't
can't say
even.
it. They can't say anything. You better go in that duffel and get that other account. But if you let me know it's you, I'm gonna respond to you again and I'm
And
gonna
block
block you
you
again.
again.
And I'm gonna block you on every fucking account I have. I'm gonna block you on BDA Law. I'm gonna block you on Brago D8. I'm gonna
Nah,
block you
Brago.
on Brago. I'm gonna block you on my burner, nigga. Everything.
The
You
KD
knew
burner.
you if I can find your Twitter, I'm gonna block you too. And if you tell me, yo, bro, you block me on YouTube, I'm gonna block you on Twitter because I know I blocked you for a reason. And it's like bro, it's so much better than a back and forth in the comment section because it doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
Even if you prove somebody just absolutely wrong, they don't care. They do not
They
care.
don't.
So
Yeah.
for me, it's like typically like I do on Twitter, I have one response, right? And I gauge how you are. But if it's disrespectful enough, I just block. I respond and I block you instantly
Yeah.
because I don't care to have a back and forth with you. At that point, you've broken the circle of trust. It's like you came in and you disrespected, and it's like you got to understand that people. I'm human, right? And so for me, for things not to happen, because it's the internet. At the end of the day, I just disassociate myself from you. Do your thing, brother. Do it somewhere else. Do it somewhere. I don't got. I don't got time for it. Like it's like I welcome opinions. I welcome critique. I don't mind critique. I absolutely welcome critique, and I think there's a way to do it. But if you come in and say, "Shut the fuck up, you're dumb. This doesn't make sense,"
Yeah.
that
You're not adding anything. You're
you're
just
not
being an
adding
asshole.
anything.
You're just
You're
being a
just
piece of
being an
shit.
asshole. So it's just like, bro, my block list is extensive, nigga. I packed that thing too. That shit is extensive. Nigga get blocked every day, all day on Twitter, on YouTube. I've never blocked anybody on Instagram. Niggas normally, because on Instagram, people are typically who they are,
Yeah.
right? Like people are, you can see their face and all that shit. So people normally chill on Instagram.
Yeah.
But on Twitter and in YouTube,
Them anime
nigga,
avies thinking they
anime avies, the
boy.
fucking no avi. Come on, bro. Like you gone. So like some niggas have gotten the gist and and I know it's them because they come back on like um uh funny man 9452 and I'm like, okay, I know it's you. And this nigga's constructive as fuck. This nigga's like, yeah, I know that this is not the way it should have been said. And then I'm like, oh,
It's
okay, so
always
you
it's always the after response where it's like,
mm,
I'm sorry if it came off a little too
uh-huh.
harsh. Love your videos. I'm like, shut your
Mm,
ass up.
constructive ass
Cause
nigga.
you fake ass nigga, get the hell
Get
out of
out of
here,
here.
bro.
Fuck out of
I
here,
hate that.
nigga.
That's one thing I hate more than anything. Someone come at you with heavy disrespect. Then you check
Mm-hmm.
them. Nah, man. I didn't mean you. I didn't mean for you to take it that way. Like,
Mm-hmm.
no. Like, I just thought, you're great. I love your videos, man. I love
Uh-huh.
your videos. I'm
They just
like,
wanted the attention. But niggas don't know. Like, I'll go on Discord and be like, yo, find this nigga
find
and
him,
block him.
block him. He's
Do
done.
you? I'm like, put out word. Do you know who this person is? Do you know his Twitter? Do you
Oh,
know his Instagram? And send it to me ASAP.
yeah, bro.
And I'm like, yeah, get him out. They're like, yeah, this is this person. Get him out the Discord. Block him. Then I
Jesus.
get a DM like, Brago, I just got blocked out. Nigga, are you, etc.? They're like, yeah. I just block him there too. You can't DM me no more. That's it's. I mean, I'm just saying, bro. Just that like people got to start like people got to start being held accountable. I'm just saying, bro, you trying to be
I
heavenly.
don't know why we had to go that far. I don't know how we got
Heavenly
there.
had a ratio channel or ratio whatever.
We're not the same.
I don't have a ratio thing, right? I don't. I put a bounty on your head. We put a bounty out there, okay? Once we find you, then you're dismissed from everything that I'm associated with. You know what I'm saying? That's the comparison to Heavenly is if like we had the Reverie chat and I send your account to the Reverie chat and I'm like, yo, everybody block this nigga. So he cannot comment on any person of like that has a name in the YouTube One Piece community.
Yeah,
Everybody block this motherfucker.
yeah,
And I could do it because I could send to be like, yo, this motherfucker is gonna spoil y'all. Just go on YouTube and block this nigga. He's gonna spoil you. Could fucking lie and have everybody block you.
yeah.
Nah. I'll just block you. Because I mean, I'm the person that you had interaction with. So fuck you.
See, Brago, he deals with it in a healthy way. For me, I ain't gonna lie. I am an emotional nigga. Sometimes if you say the wrong thing to me, bro, I'm gonna lose my mind. I've checked people, bro. Y'all seen me. If I see the wrong nigga in chat, I get real aggressive, and I'm gonna embarrass you because to me, you came here for attention. You made that comment because you wanted to get attention. So I'm like, all right, so you want this attention? I'm gonna stop the stream, and we all gonna look at you. I said, what do you mean by that? Do you care to elaborate? Because since you wanted the attention, now you got it. So talk to me. What did you mean by that? They never respond. They never respond. I don't see. The funny thing is, Brago, after a while, I'll see him in the chat talking, contributing to the conversation. Oh, yeah, that was a good theory.
Mm-hmm.
But it's always, and the thing is like, bro, I'm a troll. So I know when someone's trolling.
Yeah.
If you want to troll and you want attention, just know I will give you the same energy, but I'll be more aggressive than you could ever believe. Now, the better thing to do is to ignore it because I'm wasting my energy on you.
Yeah.
I am wasting my energy. So the proper advice, you're going to get hate no matter what. As a YouTuber, I get in my comment sections all the time. People have branded me in ways that defy logic, and they barely watched a video of mine. I mentioned this on my last stream on one of Sin's my collab with Sin. someone said, "How could you give this toxic man a platform? He's spreading toxicity in the community." And I'm like, I'm talking about Sanji and Zoro, and I'm poisoning your experience. How? Who hurt you? Who beat you up in the streets and said this is from JD? Like who hurt you that much that you have to go on another nigga's channel and say why are you giving him a platform? Like,
That's hilarious, my nigga.
listen,
That's hilarious. I'm not gonna lie.
I need some people to know that you're not gonna get away with thinking you hide behind this computer screen and you think I'm not going to check you. I will, and I won't feel bad about it.
I just I think on the internet because I can't touch you. It's not real life, right? And I don't want to touch you. I don't want that type of energy even outside of um outside of the internet, like because I remember for a while I think I did have that energy where I was hoping somebody would like see me somewhere and try to do something where I'm like, now I got a reason, right? And it's like, because I got a reason, because you approached me, now I'm defending myself.
Yeah,
And now I really got a reason. But now I'm just like, bro, that's stupid. Like, even if I do got a reason,
it is. Yeah,
it's a waste of time. Things could possibly go left and it's pointless. We don't got time for that. Nowadays, like, even if I got an issue with you IRL, I don't want them problems. Like, I don't want them issues, bro. I'm just trying to vibe. I'm just trying to vibe. Even if you see me at a con and we got issues, leave me alone. I don't want no issues. I don't want none of that. Just stay on your side. Let me stay on my side. Even if we got issues in regards to fucking One Piece or manga in general,
yeah,
nigga,
it's
leave me
ridiculous.
alone.
Please.
Leave me alone. I do not want to fight you over fucking Sabo versus Ace,
Sanji or Zoro, you trying to throw hands
Sanji
with
or
me?
Zoro.
Really?
You bum. Why would I fight you over some fucking cartoon characters? You bum. Get a life.
Please, bro. There's more to life.
Go outside.
It's a
Go
worse reflection.
jog.
It's a worse reflection on you that you would take it that far
Why the
over
fuck
something
would I
like
want to
that.
fight you over an anime character? That is dumb. Just think about that. Imagine the blurb. Fucking niggas fight over Zoro versus Sanji.
And it actually has fucking niggas in the caption too.
Fucking niggas fight over Zoro versus Sanji. Bro, you know how much of a loser you gotta be to do some shit like that?
Yeah,
Bro, y'all cannot don't pull me into shit like that. We gonna keep One Piece on the internet and we gonna have fun that way.
yeah.
If we have a debate, we can have a constructive, healthy debate. But dog, if you're throwing hands over anime, your priorities are messed up. And seriously, if somebody tried to fight me because I like Katakuri over Crocodile or some shit like that, I would legitimately try to have a conversation with you and sit down with you and say, what's going on at home? Where are your parents?
Who hurt
What who hurt you? Especially if you're black, I'm like, my nigga, you want to have a nigga moment over Doflamingo and Katakuri or Katakuri and Crocodile?
you? Yeah.
What why?
Why?
Bro, you got on a plane, you flew 3 hours, and you still mad?
You still mad? You didn't think, oh, I'm
You
going to
still
a con, I'm about to get some good merch?
you going to a con, you seen all these chicks that they're fucking dressed like a fucking S death. They
Bro,
dress
the
like
S Death
Rem.
complex be hit,
They got
boy.
all these, you got all these bad bitches in here, and you are worried about a nigga? And you what Franklin say? The last thing I'm gonna do,
Because
I'll
you
be
don't
worried
like the
about.
way a nigga talk.
I'm not because you don't like the way another nigga talk.
Franklin was talking so heavy, dog. He said, you got to get your life together, please.
Get it together, man. You fucking up my business. You fucking up my money. We don't do that. We not gonna do that. We gotta be better,
Oh
bro.
my God, bro.
We gotta be better. That shit is dumb.
You got the Nami cosplays, cheeks is wobbling. You out here
It
mad
is
at a
out,
nigga, bro.
you running through the fucking the con, just
Sprinting
looking
through
where's
the
this
con.
nigga?
Where's
Where's this nigga
Brago?
Brago? Where's this nigga Brago? And I swear to God, as soon as I find this nigga, I swear to God, I'ma ask him about Doflamingo. I'm gonna change this nigga mind. Then this nigga pull up, he's like, yo, crocodile over Dofi. Okay, sure. Now what? Okay, now what? Okay, yes, you're right. Crocodile over Dofi. You went in the gym for 6 months to come back here for me to agree with you.
Had a training arc, nigga.
you went to CrossFit to do all that shit. Now I agree with you. Now what? Now what are we gonna do? What are we here for? I'm not getting kicked out the con with you.
I'm not that nigga.
I'm not doing that. I paid for these tickets.
I'm calling
right?
Security. You out
I'm
of here,
calling
nigga.
security. I'm not getting kicked out with you, bro. You on your own. I agree with you. What are you doing? Dog, I don't know, man. I don't know. That's insane. So niggas, if you that mad about something, I think you just gotta find another outlet. Find another outlet, because we should not be arguing that heavy. We're hurling insults and literally threatening each other, right? And taking trips to fight. It's dumb.
It's never gonna.
It's dumb when we haven't hurt each other and we haven't done anything to anybody's families. It's silly. Yeah. And I think when you see how heavy people go at it on Twitter, and it's like furiously back and forth, 6 seconds, 7, like niggas responding in 7 seconds. I'm like, nigga, did you even think? Bam. You just doing that shit. Stop it.
Yeah.
Stop it, my nigga. We got to do better.
Yeah.
We got way more important shit that we got to tackle. As you get older, you understand just how complex life is and how shit never goes the way you plan it. And the last thing I want to do is waste time on a nigga I don't even know because of a character that I like in a fucking anime.
Yeah.
Dumb. I'm sorry. Niggas.
All right. That's got to be the end. That's got to be it. That's got to be it.
Days off work and shit. You losing money, nigga.
That's what losing bread.
Losing money to fucking ask me about a character. Nigga, we meet up. Let's have a good time. Shit.
Oh, man. I appreciate everybody. First of all, Brother Brago, appreciate you coming on to the show. It's been great. Very excited to have these videos.
Thank you for having me, bro.
Of course.
Thank you for having me. Much appreciated, man.
Always
love what you're doing over here.
Yes, sir.
Don't stop. Keep it going. We getting Jada 100K, man.
Yes, sir. We moving. That's the goal. The goal is the road to 100K. So can't wait for the videos to come out, guys. Definitely check that out. That's gonna be awesome, especially with the
we know why we want them at 100K, right?
Oh yeah. Here we go again. Here we go again.
Cheeks out. Let's go.
Shout out to the chat. Shout out to everybody who pulled up. You know, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe when you see the videos come out. Of course, shout out to Brother Brago. You know what I'm saying? You already know his channel, you know, but if you're not subbed, please sub. You know better. And that's it. I'll catch you all on the next stream. Probably Mugen tomorrow. I'll let you know. Take care.